Ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Boom. Uh-oh. Where am I? I gotta click. There you go. Boom. I thought I had a smooth transition, but I forgot that I had to click a little something. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are back. We are live. This is Florida, and you are the YouTube universe. We are in the almost nighttime boom. It is 6 p.m. in Florida, USA. Still daytime, but will not be for too long. I am not sure if the sun already went away to that little spot where it get like really bright to me. I hope it already is. I didn't even realize. Thank you for being here, 10 people watching. I will please encourage you to hit to join us on the Discord server. Daily Boom. Name. I'm generating a new link in which that will be posted in the chat box for you to join. If you are watching this live or recorded, how do you know if this live? Well, it is May the 10th of 2022. It is 6:05 p.m. in Florida, USA time. So if today is Tuesday, May 10th, and it's the afternoon, and you are in the United States in Florida, well, you got exactly my own time. And or recorded if this video is up on YouTube and rendered. If it's been up for already a few hours, there's a super thanks. There's a thanks button underneath the video where you can help me out. That's like a super chat where you can type comments. That will be in the comment section. You can help the channel. If anybody here live wanna hit me up with a super chat, well, find the dollar sign under this chat box, and you can help the channel that way, or just type any comment, questions, or comments. There's a PayPal link pinned above in the YouTube chat box. I will rather prefer that method of support if you can, or if you cannot do either or super chat or PayPal, well, the thumbs up is the only way that you can help. It's an easy way. It is fast. It's convenient. Just make sure to hit a like and share the show. If you're watching lurking in the background, you are not subscribed, then you realize they say, why am I unable to type in the YouTube chat box and say, hello, I'm new, say boom, say hello, say what's up? Well, that might be because you are not subscribed. In order for you to be able to type in YouTube chat box, you must be subscribed for at least, I think it's 5 minutes. So make sure that you are subscribed, hit the bell notification icon, and get notified when the show is live, which is very unpredictable. Should be early in the morning. We are doing it late at night. What is going on, Jose? Why are you doing this? Well, because you have already received the link for Discord. Click on that and join us. Now, if you are joining, you're not listening, the first thing that you will hear is probably the squeaky earth that I'm about to hit. There's an odd setting over here, what you guys see in the background. This is not green screen. This is my little porch area in the outside, in the almost outside the street, the road. That's how I do the shows. So I'm looking at the neighbors over there, riding the electric motor car. I see that girl playing with the kids. I see that one dude pulling up, and people walking up and down the street. That's it. Mabit. What? Mabit. Okay, I see you. Mabit. Really? Okay, you'll be all right. Mabit. All right. You're letting me know that you're watching this laptop and you're watching that laptop at the same time. Okay, that makes sense. Should we squeak it? Let's do it. There you go. That was kind of nice. I have to water the plants in a few hours from now. Shout out to the mirrored view that you guys have on YouTube. This should say Earth, and this should say warning: no stupid people beyond this point. And shout out to the pink flowers. This plant I just planted a few days ago. It's growing up fast. Another one's right here. Shout out to the baby marble. This is baby marble. This is Earth. And then we got rumbling Earth. And of course, squeaky Earth. Shout out to the other plants right here. Everybody's in the house. Woo! And you know who else is here? The other metal, aka Leel. Leel, I read and I saw that there's he left. I heard and I read that there's a condition of somebody when people laugh halfway or smile or talk, and it's not because you had a stroke and you had half of your face was kind of melt down. Because if I had that, I wouldn't be able to move like everything, you know. So it's just a thing that I always like halfway in the mouth, like Drew Barrymore. I don't care, man. Whatever. Shout out to the plants, says Mandeville. What's up, Merle? I mean, Leo.
Yeah, what?
So there's an issue. I think is your good microphone or headset. It picks up the voices from the speakers that you got. Do you got the speakers really loud? Are you a little bit deaf, hard of hearing, or not?
No, they're just sitting right next to the TV.
Okay. Mandeville say that I look exactly like Drew Barrymore. Is that true, Leo?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
That's great. That's good. Now, do you look a lot like Jose? Leo.
I don't know.
Do you got 2 C holes, one rat hole, and 2 ear holes?
Sure.
Then you look exactly like me. You see, you got 2 C holes, 2 ear holes, and 1 rat hole. This is where you eat rats in. The hole where you eat rats, rat hole. Have you eaten rats, Leo?
Never.
Why haven't you?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about something with more substance, shall we? Until the other guests come in. Did you get personally offended when you are in these shows and you are unable to participate the way you want, Leo? And what do you think? Why do you think it is? Why do you think that is?
Maybe because of my autism. I don't know, but I get frustrated when I ask a specific question and then it goes off in the boonies away from the question, and I try and grab it back to the question, but everyone else continues off asking questions that are related, but like not to the core point.
But right now, the issue, your audio, the way you guys set up your audio is an issue, and I tell you why. just start talking something, and I'm gonna just interject a word here, a word there. Just tell me something. Just give me a full sentence, Lyle.
Jose, you're
I
really
disagree.
weird.
No, I don't think so. Just keep saying something. You see that we get feedback from you. That is one of the things that we get really annoyed with. Not only me, but the audience, everybody. So if you fix that issue, that would be a lot less stressful and a lot of less annoying when the interaction. You know who we got in the house? We got Carlos in the house. He is back. He only trolls responsibly, or does he?
Or do I? Jose,
What up, man?
what is cracking?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Good to see you, man.
Well, I
I mean,
see that you keeping the green.
yeah, good to hear you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, man,
Man,
keeping
hey,
the green. I got frogs and everything in the squeaky earth now. See that? Frogs and everything.
yeah, cookies.
Yeah, my new place. I'm trying to keep the plants secret plant because this is kind of an ugly spot. There's not many trees as I had in my previous place, so I'm trying to plant my own things and keeping myself surrounded with a minuscule extra oxygen for me.
Oh no, I like it. I see. I'm not allowed in that room behind you. So
No,
what's up
stupid
with
people there.
that? Oh man.
What you been up to, man? You working a lot, taking care of the family and stuff?
Yeah, both of those actually. Yeah, I have baby number 4 in February the 2nd.
Wow!
Yeah. So was it February?
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Yeah. So my baby, she's almost 3 months right now. I guess I don't know. I can't do
How
math. Only flat Earth math.
how is that?
Uh-huh.
How many boys and girls do you have? Two and
Well, I
two?
have 3 girls and 1 boy.
Three girls, one boy. All right,
Uh,
that's
yeah.
cool. Man.
So I don't want to get more and more details because it is
No,
the internet. But
not
yeah,
at all. But now, if you had the boy was first or second, maybe third, that's cool because let's say that you had a fourth girl now. Wouldn't you like attempt to say like, you know what? I've always wanted five, so I'm gonna go for five so I can have the boy. What if you had five girls and you didn't have the boy? Would you go for the six and then continue having babies until you got the boy?
well, my brother did. He had 4 girls, and the 5th one was a boy. So they were trying for that boy.
One
So yeah.
cousin, my second cousin or cousin of my dad, like second cousin or whatever you want to call it. He had he had 6 girls and then the seventh was a boy with the same wife. So the
That's
youngest
whack.
was a boy, and sad and tragic ending. The boy, when he turned 14 years old, he went partying with the friends and he got murdered. He got shot.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, man. So it's just the 6 girls.
Yeah, bro. But my mom, she wanted girls, and she never had a girl. But now she has, let's see, 3, 4. That's
Grandkid,
seven, seven girls. They're all
Nice.
girl, mostly girls. So she got her girls after all. So.
Woo!
But yeah.
A friend of Man Devil in the chat. He only had girls over 3 generations. It's like total like 20 girls and no boys.
Damn. Holy moly!
And,
That's a lot of sandwiches.
um,
I'm gonna get banned.
yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we're still doing the same, man. How is everything in the state you live in? Everything normal in the roads? Everybody taking care of each other?
Yeah, everything is back to normal here. Really, it's being that I'm in the South, Alabama. It's been pretty cool, whatever. So right now, I told somebody the fact that I was granted access to a nursing home without them checking my temperature or asking me to wear a mask. I knew it was back to normal.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good feeling. So, and my current employer is not forcing us to do anything. So yeah, business as usual. So it's light at
Good
the end of the
time.
tunnel. There was light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it's like this little chunk of time is just disregarded and just we just keep going normal as it was, a few
Right.
days,
Yeah.
a few years
I
ago.
mean, it was. Yeah, it was a lot quicker in some of the other states compared to other ones. But yeah, yeah. So now it's officially, I'll say it's officially over. Our
Yeah.
hospital in the area is in on green alert, so it means that people can come in and not have to, have a covering, and you can go visit. In fact, when I had my baby at the hospital, it was only my wife and I couldn't leave until she got discharged. If I left, they
Yeah.
wouldn't let me back in. So yeah,
Okay.
but now it's all normal. So yeah, it's all good over here as far as that. So and yeah, I'm
Times.
always busy at work. So
Good times. Good times. So you don't follow a lot of the discussion of the argument. So you're not even aware if there's anything new in this corner of the Earth discussions, right?
I really haven't. So this whole year from the very beginning, especially after you kind of went off my radar,
Mhm.
since I wasn't aware of the new channel, I really haven't. I mean, I popped in at Big Blue Marbles the other day. That's when I found out.
Nice.
But I really haven't followed anything. I did tune in at 2 or 3 shows on MacToon, but that's about it. I really don't know what's going on, and I don't know what happened to one of the Nathans. The one with the 9 shower heads. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
from him, and yeah. So yeah, I don't know what. So what's new? What did I
Yes,
miss?
I give you my side of the story, and then Leo maybe he can add up because Leo hang out over there in Game Pandas and other servers that I do not. Leo watches more shit that I don't watch. I would just watch a handful of things, kind of browse around, but I mostly do this shit. This is what I find out, and
Right.
and when we get other people joining in and talking, today it's been slower, it's later than usual, so I know hopefully we get a few more guesses, but the newest things that have happened these last few days happening here in this channel. And
Oh yeah.
it was Gary Webenga. You heard of Gary, right?
Yeah.
He's
Well,
still
venga.
around.
Yeah.
He hangs out here. He does rubber bands and he got cows and stuff. So he say that for scale models, if you want to model something smaller, right, that you used to do scale physical models and demonstrations,
Yeah.
then in order for it to be documented correctly, you need you need to also scale the camera. So you have to. It doesn't matter how big or small. If you take a picture, a video of mountains in the background and buildings, if you want to scale that model down, you need a tiny camera in order to match it to reality and scale it to reality. So,
Okay.
what do you think about that?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about, but it would make sense because if you think about the size of a lens of a professional consumer prosumer camera, we're talking about and just to get very raw here because I'm quite honestly, I don't know all the terms of photography, don't really know all that stuff very well as far as the lens sizes and stuff. But we're talking about, you can tell the difference between a lens on a DSLR photography camera, and you can tell there's a big difference in between that and a cell phone camera, where the lens is a lot smaller, the aperture is smaller. So there would be certain observations that you would do where we're talking about occlusion, uh, that the lens size will play a big factor.
There
So
was where he came up with this is where there was an example, right? There's an observation that Ranty did when he came back to the globe, right?
uh-huh.
He was a certain height, so the observer was a certain height. A distance away from the observer, there was this tower, Blackpool Tower. So the observer
Yeah.
height, the camera was a certain height of the tower, and then a lot further than the tower, there's this big mountain.
Hmm.
So it was scaled down by Bearded Devil once a while ago. Bearded Devil, he he built a scale model, 1 meter equals 1 millimeter or something like that. He did a scale model. He modeled the tower, the small tower, like I don't know, this box size. And then he built the scale size of the mountain. He found a big stretch of a sidewalk, really straight sidewalk. He put from the observer to the Blackpool Tower. He put a little tower there, and then from the tower to the mountain, he went really far away and he put the mountain. He went back to the observer and he put the camera, whatever camera he used. He might have used a P900, which we know is gonna be lens, but he was sure that the center of the lens was the closest to the ground, so he can match the observer's height. So that was the test he did. Gary disagrees with that because he say he's unable to use the camera because of the lens is too big, even though what we're looking at is the center of the camera where it's located, related to the height of the tower. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, with that particular scenario, this is very similar to something I pointed out to the young fellow with the mustache. I had the red pill philosophy, the guy who did the high IQ flat Earth research.
Yes.
He was doing an observation. I call them observation now. I don't call them experiments. On a I think it was a grocery store, and it was a light in the floor, the opposite side, and
you got a hot mic, Jesse. There. Sorry, Carlos.
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't in a store, but he was comparing that he was able to get light. He could see a light at the end of the room with the DSLR, but he couldn't see it with the cell phone camera. And I told him, I said, well, if you think about if you put the center of those lenses in the same place, the lens on the DSLR, the lens is bigger than the cell phone camera, the iPhone camera, and you're gonna have a lot more light enter that lens, and stuff that wouldn't make it to the cell phone camera. The light that wouldn't make it to the cell phone camera will make it to a DSLR. So I pointed that out to that was like 2-3 years ago, and so that's that sounds like he's on to something. So
I use this example. I said, so do you mean if there's a car across the street, right? If I grab my cell phone camera and I stand in front of the car, I make sure that the lens, the center of the camera is pointing at the, passenger window right there. And I take a picture with my cell phone. And then I grab a Hot Wheel, the same car model, the same car style, a Hot Wheel, and I put it in the road. And I bring my camera down, and I just go a little bit under the dirt over here next to the ground. And I put the center of my cell phone camera right to the passenger's window on the little toy car. And I go kind of a distance scale, and I take a picture. Can I match that one another? So he disagrees because it's a different camera. He said, because then what do I do now? I took a photo of a regular car with my cell phone camera. How small should I go to take a picture of a fucking Hot Wheel? What's going on here?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, there would be a difference on parallax that because you were definitely the car would be way lower and so will the camera. But you really have to look at how compare two lenses, and like I said, it goes back to what observation we're talking about. We're talking about what stuff blocking light and stuff, making it to a lens or not making it to a lens. Not only is the distance of the actual viewer or the viewer's eye to the ground important, but also the size of the quote unquote eye. So yeah, I can see how.
Yeah, but you know what was funny with this test that Beard the Devil did with the scale model of the towers? He was able to take good pictures, but even though I think he took videos of the camera higher and he went as low as he went, which he was way under the center of the tower, the lens of the camera, the full lens. He was really close to the ground. I think he was a little step and he went like barely in the ground. So he did the best he could. And he was never able to match that with reality. Why? Because if he scaled it down, there was no curve in that sidewalk. It was straight. So the mountain in the background, it was always above the tower. But in reality, when we look at the mountain, it's below the tower. There was the argument because it doesn't match reality. He said, no, but it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I would say you can do two things to quote, I guess it's lack of a better word, fix the problem. You make sure the center of the lens is at the actual, at the equivalent height, and then the other thing, you could just take a filter or some black construction paper and pinhole do a pinhole, and then gets as close as possible as to the viewer, the size of the viewer viewing apparatus, whether it's an eye or a camera, to avoid any other light pollution. So yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's got my gears going now, Jose.
Exactly.
Dang it,
So that's what
you're giving me work now.
I knew you
Give
like
me
that. I knew you
homework.
like that.
Heck yeah.
Hey,
I'm
shout out
on
to
it.
everybody here. We got Jesse, Bebo, Hugh Janus, Leo, and the Stingray in the house. Hugh J, you want to
Hey,
say hi?
Jose.
You want to say hi to Hugh Janus, Carlos?
Hugh, how are you?
Hello there, sir. How are you, Carlos?
What planet are you from?
I'm from the planet Remulac.
I thought you were from Uranus.
Hey, all right. We got two
Carlos.
screen shares. We got two screen shares over here. Who do I put up on screen? I'm gonna kill my camera. What do we got?
Oh, hang on. Can you
I
mute?
just
Can
need
you
to-
mute Stingray? Because he's about to correct me on something I said wrong.
I'm about to support you, actually.
I only need 10 seconds.
There you go. We'll take Jesse Gordon first. Let me see. Let's get Jesse up on screen. And Beeble is
Oh.
also got the camera on. Jesse, you're up on screen for YouTube. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm experimenting to see if I can live stream my P1000 through my phone, through Discord, and so I'm wondering if you all can see my P1000 screen.
We see, yeah, like trees and a house in there, and the zoom out, yeah, man.
Yes, we
that.
see you P. I mean your P1000.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so does that look like a usable picture? So if I were like, I want to do a live demonstration for Gary so that I can get it exactly centered to his specifications, you see.
That looks great. Yeah, whenever we get Gary and he's able to watch the stream and see it because he's usually driving or working, so
Yeah,
we'll find that
Yeah,
window and we'll get it up.
and I'm not on the beach yet, and I need to make my gantry for my camera too, but I just was testing out my little HDMI on the USB on-the-go capture device, which hooks to my cell phone, which hooks to my camera, and I just wanted to see if it all worked. Sounds like it does.
Yeah, looks good, man. Good.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you. That's what I needed.
Yeah. Let me put Carlos up on screen so people can see that
Oh no, nobody needs to see that.
sexy Spanish bearded face. Then we got Earth is live. There's some basketball going on. There you go. Thank you for having that. And we got Stingray up on screen for the YouTube. Stingray, what's up?
So I think it's better to do a little diagram to show what Carlos is on about, because it's the same thing that I mentioned, which is a function of the size of the lens and the sensor size on how you determine if a camera or the size scale of a camera makes a difference. But the fraction needs to be substantial to the measurement for us to conclude that it does make a difference. So here's a sensor, and here's the end of a DSLR lens. Now let's say we're at a tight focal length, something like the end of a P1000, which gives us a 1 degree field of view from the center of this lens, and the light actually then does that. Which means we've got this entire area here for it to look in this direction. So if we see a object that is half the height of the lens here, and we've got another object that's slightly behind it like so, what we have now is the light coming in is like so. And this light can make it like so. Awesome. So now let's take a tiny lens at the same focal length. So we've actually matched aperture and focal length there. And we're looking at the same, the center of the lens is at the same height. And now we're looking at these. And we can see that now we wouldn't actually see the one behind, we'd only see this. But that's because this distance is, there's a high ratio of the size between this sensor and this lens element versus our sample distance versus our object heights. Now, if this was 1/1,000,000th of our observation length, then it does not really make that much of a blind shit of a difference. But it does if this is a large proportion of our observation. And that's what Carlos is saying. And that's what I pointed out to Lemon, his favorite corridor DSLR versus iPhone kind of bottom-up obstruction something. But I forget what the dude's name is. But he went on and wrote mathematics and all that kind of stuff. And all it simply was this. And that was it.
All right, let me read a quick comment before any the rest is dead. I got two hits on the PP over here. My PP is a little bit swelled. That PP stands for PayPal, just in case. So
Okay, I'm about to say, you need to bring me up to speed, Jose, because I didn't know what we were talking about.
the PP means PayPal.
Okay.
So my PayPal, I got a big $20 by Earth is Life. That's Beeble. Did you know that Beeble changed his name from Beeble for Life to Earth is Life? How about that? And we got that's Beeble. Thank you very much, brother. That helps me a lot. And we got a big $5 by John Rapp. John Rapp says, normal size brain for globe reality, tiny flat brain for flat Earth, and especially Gary. Regards. Thank you very much. Carlos, do you understand what Stingray presented there?
Well, he elaborated a lot more eloquently what I was trying to say. So yes, I'm a more of a layman's term, 200-pound gorilla, rough around the edges, kind of guy. You'll get the 2x4 nails version of what Dean said. Real world, practical world. So yeah, how you doing, Stingray?
I have a young daughter, Carlos. She is now nearly 6 months old.
Congratulations. Welcome to the Dad Club.
Cheers.
Now you can do as many puns as you want, and you will be excused. Because gotta start with your dad jokes.
She's gonna have a Tesla car version 7.8 when she grows up.
Wow.
Stingray has the version 2.2 now, right? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, well, I have full self-driving version 3, if that makes any difference. But no, I'll tell you something. I found a use. You'll like this, Carlos. I built the solar system to the scale and everything, just to and put the seasons, the inclination and the solar offset of the 23.5 degrees through the seasons. So anywhere on the planet, I can put the lat long and just have an observer view of where the sun is on this model inside a Blender. But then I also used it yesterday because I'm having Velux Windows put in an extension. I also used it yesterday, and I built the extension to see where the light's going to be cast in the room, and I plotted it out, and then went out and then just put it on the floor to figure out how is it going to intersect with my kitchen and stuff. That's such a me thing to do.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, that sounds like Stingray.
Yeah.
Using your smarts.
I was going to say, Stingray, your daughter will never have to drive a car. Think about that.
That's not entirely true.
I don't think so. In 16 years or 17, 18 years from now?
That is correct, yes. I do not think so.
I bally well hope that we don't have to drive cars by then.
So in some countries, you won't have to. In my country, in the United Kingdom, we still will have to, because our infrastructure and road system is not easily overhauled to cope with any kind of augmented pathfinding technology. Right. Whereas, like in South Korea, Yeah, not a problem. Possibly in the United States because it's a simplified road system and you guys spend so much money. Yeah, probably.
Wider roads and everything. Yeah, probably you're right.
Not in the backwoods. There's still gonna be a few rednecks that are gonna be driving the F-150s, myself included.
Me too.
I'm in. Where are you, Carlos?
South Alabama.
South
Well,
Alabama. I'm in.
East Alabama. Sorry.
All right. I'm in the northeast of Atlanta.
Oh, sweet. So we're probably an hour or two away from each other.
You have probably come across
Probably,
a huge
yeah.
You probably have seen a huge highness around, you know?
Yeah, Carlos and I have talked before. We've talked before. It's been a while though.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. I've seen.
Oh, Carlos is going through the
My God.
somewhere. He's going that he's breaking up.
So Stingray, I'm walking right now, just in my subdivision, and I just measured. I measured the road just with my feet halfway. It's a 28 feet wide road, and that's just a side road. When I grew up in England, it was like half that, you know.
I mean, it's so here's an example of EU legislation and unfortunately, autonomous driving comes under driver aids. Yeah, doesn't matter which way how you shake it at the moment. So the legislation limits the autonomous mechanisms by which the steering can be altered. And I can't remember what it is. It might be as little as 15 degrees. Anything over 15 degrees, any autonomous system has to cancel. So now you're okay in mainland Europe with new roads that are all straight and proper planned, but in the United Kingdom, no, not a chance. You've got to get rid of all these little bits of legislation first that limit, that are old age and limit it, and then you've got the problem that autonomous driving cannot be partially adopted and make a positive influence. So 10% autonomous driving, I wrote a paper on this actually, 10% autonomous driving in the United Kingdom will be so disruptive to transport, it will be hellish. And that doesn't abate until about 70 or 80% adoption.
Yes. I was going to say though, hold on, Britain's not part of the EU anymore.
No, but there was legislation introduced that on the day of that, we adopted all EU laws.
Oh gosh, are you serious? Well, they can be.
Wait a minute, not continuing, but
No,
on
no,
that day, existing laws, yes.
All right, not that it really matters to me anymore, but I have a brother back in the UK. It matters to him at the moment, but anyway.
All right, we got Leal in the house. Leal want to jump in. He said he has a very important point.
Crickets.
Break one. There you go, Leal. No, you got no audio.
Oh,
no
really,
audio.
Leal? Tell us more. I'm getting
we don't hear you, man.
Yeah, he's got my technology.
Hello, Don, my old friend.
Everybody be quiet. Yes, Leal. Sorry, continue. I'm very interested.
That's why Leal gets frustrated because he's been waiting to talk about camera scaling and conversation went somewhere else. But Leal, sort out your audio. Jump in.
Yeah, man. But every time you come up here, man, the sound is bad.
You got no audio. No, he's got a great microphone lately. He got a great microphone, but do you know how to operate that, Leal? If you go to
Carlos,
the settings,
you won't even recognize Leal when he eventually finds out where the on button is because he sounds completely different.
Well, he doesn't have his microphone inside his mouth anymore?
No.
oh, that's great.
Wow, praise be.
I wish we can hear him. I see the light turning on, but we don't hear him. We're gonna move you to a different room and move you back in, Leal. Let's see if that fixes it.
Yeah. Hey, Stingray, are you familiar with the Lowell DP lights?
With what, sir?
With the Lowell DP lights, like the tungsten video lights or photography
Testing.
lights?
Well, no, for photography, I've only got constant LEDs because I just do video stuff.
Testing,
Well,
Lael, testing.
you haven't done video for too long. Only for the last 5-10 years, maybe.
Lael, sometimes we gotta interrupt. There you go. Hello.
I want the new rotor lights. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, Lael is on. There you go.
I don't disagree with what Stingray and them were talking about with the cameras. My disagreement was with Gary and his position. Did he do the proper scaling with his camera when he does his things? No. So why does he judge us and tell us we didn't do ours? He should equally do it across the board and not complain about our modeling.
Good point.
And see, this is the whole issue, Carlos, or Jose. Now that they moved past this subject like 10 minutes ago, and I've been waiting 10 minutes to get in, I seem like a jerk because we're past the subject and I'm going back.
Lael, you're doing great because I love what you did now because I don't know anything about what they were talking about. They were talking some politics or rules or something that I wasn't really interested. I just let the conversation go because there was nothing else going on. But thank you for bringing it back because I'm going to ask you a question related to scaling the camera. Did you have to scale your microphone in order to talk, or are you using the same microphone?
I'm using the same microphone. I don't know what happened. I think my system update kind of screwed up my microphone. So I had to do some stuff. I unplugged the little cord in the back of the microphone and I plugged it back in and did some other things.
Can you think of an example or an analogy, Lael, that you say we can use the same camera for some observation in different scales, in different sizes, and it will be the same? Can you think of anything? Give us an example. Why do you think we don't need to scale a camera, Orlen?
Well, that wasn't my argument. I don't know. I think that if I'm taking a picture of my car, I take a picture of my car. My car's to scale because, I fit inside of it. I don't need to scale the camera.
Do you need a smaller camera if you want to take a picture of a Hot Wheel, a toy car of your same style of your car?
No, I do not.
Purpose. This absolutely depends on the purpose. If the purpose is the extents, line the extents of the image and is based off occlusion, then actually yes, you do. However, if the purpose is to use the center of the lens as a source and align something to the center of the lens on a distant object to see where the center of that lens and the distant object intersect somewhere else, it doesn't matter the size of your lens because you're not actually using a lens, you're just using the points that sit there, and that is not altered by the size of the sensor of the lens at that point.
What he said.
So here's the question though. If I'm taking a picture of the Blackpool Tower, do I need to scale my camera up to match so the center of the lens can be actually the center of the tower, or can I use a normal camera?
Right, so that again, so the answer is both yes and no. And the reason for that is if the scale of what you're building, the distances of the Blackpool Tower observation, which I can't remember, let's say the 30 miles, and you set it up over 3 feet and you use a DSLR and the observation is not singular vector, in other words, point to point to point, then yes, it will make a huge difference because the size of the length is probably 1/50th the overall observation, which gives a lens size at source at the 30 miles of maybe 400 or 500 feet high. So yes, it would make a difference. You would see from 400 feet all the way down to 0. So absolutely would make a difference. However, if you scaled that 30-mile observation to 40 meters, then you could calculate the amount of difference that it would make because it's just a function of the end of the lens side, at the end of the lens. The only thing you need to take into consideration is the fact that it's a prime lens, because if it's variable focal length with multiple groups, the last lens element coverage can alter non-uniformly along that focal length. But so long as last lens element, the lens, the radius of the lens doesn't play a massive part in your overall scale of the observation, you should be fine.
So you missed the question though. The question was, if I am standing, let's say 5 miles away from the Blackpool Tower, I do not need to scale that image at all, or the camera. I just take the picture. I'm not scaling to a tabletop. I'm just taking a picture of the tower.
Explain by scaling. Explain
I don't know.
by scaling.
I don't know, because Gary never necessarily defines what he's talking about when he says scaling the camera.
Scaling actually just means uniformly scaling every single element of the camera, but most importantly, the actual lens, the size of the optic down. It doesn't alter the field of view at all, but if the diameter of the end of the lens is a large proportion of your observation, then yes, it would make a difference. If it's not, then it would make minimal difference, but you can calculate that. But like I say, if you're doing point to point to point using the center of the lens, it's utterly irrelevant.
I think you're right. One fix around that would be put a mask in front of the lens and put a pinhole that resembles the size of the scaled camera.
No, because it wouldn't. No, well, yeah, but you wouldn't get a lot of, if you're using a P900 or something and you wanted to scale something, it would. Well, the answer is yes, but you wouldn't get a lot of pixels out of it.
No, yeah, right. I wouldn't, but it would mask from the size and difference in size of the lens. Technically.
Yes.
Okay. Out.
So here's the idea that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the pinhole would definitely control the depth of field issue, because really the only difference between a large diameter and a small diameter lens is the range of different distances that's still in focus, really. So a pinhole would allow a wider distance range to be in focus at the same time.
Like deep focus.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can take out, and that isn't the only thing. The size of the last lens element in comparison to the camera and the height that gives in a ratio of the scales that you're trying to use would make a huge difference with the diagram that I just drew. But the depth of field you just cancel out by using a smaller aperture anyway.
Right.
Just keep in mind, if you got auto exposure turned on, it's going to try and do some wonky stuff when you got that small pinhole in front of it.
You know it.
So here's the idea that I have. If you know the height of the mountain behind the Blackpool Tower, and you say you want to get a certain distance so the angle of elevation of the center of the lens is focused at 35 degrees, and you take a measurement and you see that it's 35 degrees. And the question here is, now the tower is obviously closer, so that angle is going to be greater than the angle to the top of the mountain. The question becomes, why is a tower above the top of the mountain if the mountain's at a higher elevation? Does that make sense?
Oh no, yeah, no. This you can't with the Blackpool Tower. No one's done a scale version of it, and yeah, the Blackpool Tower just proves the Earth is flat. Proves the Earth is a globe, or is positive evidence towards it.
I guess that wasn't my thing. Is say like we know, and I'm just gonna throw a number out there because I don't know the exact height. Say like the height of the mountain is 135 meters, and I get a distance away so that the angle of the center of that lens to the peak of the highest peak of the mountain is 35 degrees. Well, by math, we can deduce the distance to the base of the mountain, right? So now that we know the angle of the lens is, the center of the lens is at 35 degrees, and then we are obviously going to also the Blackpool tower is also going to be in front of the lens, and if that's, say, we'll just throw a number, 52 degrees angle of elevation, why is it that the tower appears above the top of the mountain peak if we're that distance away? And you answered it, because it shows that it provides evidence that the Earth is indeed curving away from the mountain, or both the mountain and the human. Jose, for once, guess what? Jumungus voted for me.
Yay!
I think. I don't know if he's being sarcastic.
Nobody answered you, Lyle. That convoluted last way that you phrased the question.
Yeah, we can all agree though. And going to the point of the lenses, I don't think it at those distances or any kind of distances like that makes any difference at all.
No, but like I say, it's to do with scaling, and no one scaled the Blackpool observation. This was something to do with what Bearded Devil did, but I think his setup was like a scaled down version, but a really long distance, like on a sidewalk, wasn't it? It was something like 300 foot or 200 foot. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Right. He had to take. He decided for his scale to be 1 to 1,000. So a meter was a millimeter. A kilometer was a meter. So,
but what was the overall thing?
Out to the mountain, he had to go 80 meters or whatever it was.
Oh wow! Yeah, nice. So
it'd be more than 80.
And if the conclusion was just about a point-to-point thing from center lens here, look at this, then the size of the lens doesn't make a difference. And if it wasn't, then you could calculate what the deviation of the size of the lens would give, and it wouldn't be a great amount over 80 meters, because the diameter of the lens element compared to those 80 meters is like 1 in like 5,000 or 10,000.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So I don't know. Stingray, we've talked about this before, but I'm a photographer and never get into details like that. Never need to.
Stingray, look. This is irrelevant to what we're talking about. I put an image of the light that I was talking about. See if you recognize it.
Where do you put that? Because we are in the Daily Boom on Censored, and I don't see
I did.
it.
Yeah.
Daily Boom on Censored.
Put an image.
Okay, you put an.
It's just as a file.
Just as a file. What the hell? What are you doing, man? You drag and drop that image. I can post it for you.
My cell phone.
I'll do it.
Well, it's just a high efficiency imaging codec, which is awesome. Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm sharing it anyway, Jose.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. Like it.
Sure.
What? Anyway, I was given a set of professional lighting. It's 3 tungsten flood end focus lights with barn doors, and I have multiple light bulbs. I have 1,000, 1K watts, 750 and 500 watts. They're like 32 Kelvin. Anyway, old school professional lighting equipment. So I'm gonna be using that for some observations as the sun.
Doofus, what the hell is that you put up there? What is a jump bouncy ball?
It's
One of those half rubber ball things. You invert them and you put them on the table and they go flying.
Nice.
What kind of balls? What kind of balls you say?
Bouncy.
I cannot make up what it is.
It's like a half a sphere, and it is the inside of the sphere is concave, and then you kind of push on the outside and invert it, and then it will just pop back into shape. But when it does that, if you put it on the ground
Okay.
and the jump, there you go.
That's a
See?
countertop. It fooled me as well. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh my goodness! Somebody put a patent.
There, I gave you a schematic. Maybe that'll help.
Thank you. It looked like
Oh.
something out of NASA or something. What's going on?
Awesome. I needed that schematic.
I thought that was
Yeah,
CGI.
well, it depends if it's a real image or not.
Fine image.
Here we go again.
No, I know it in Flat Earth in the Define image. Photo is
Moderator.
not an image. I love
Shout
that.
out to Mr. Victory.
This kind of cool
Thank you, Mr. Victory. Your whatever images you can throw there, they will go up. He's like, maybe. Why you throwing files this format,
I'm
Carlos?
sorry, Jose. This on my cell phone, and I guess either these pictures are not locally on the phone, or
No, he's
Carlos,
an Apple user.
Yeah,
From an,
Carlos,
yeah, that's from an
you're
iPhone.
on iPhone. What you want to do is just go into your camera. Wait a minute, you haven't got an iPhone.
That's a
No.
that's a heist format from an iPhone.
This is an
Oh.
Android.
Oh,
He
they're
said-
they're
Oh.
adopting the same imaging codec that Apple have been using for years. Then
Didn't know. That's very interesting.
But yeah, Jose posted there the kit, the light kit that I have. It's super rugged and heavy duty and awesome. I figured you would know about that, Stingray.
I used the light kit doing that about 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's old. And it was given to me by my former employer when I did video production years ago.
Yeah.
He no longer does that. He said, "Well, I don't have the time to sell it." He said, "Do you want all my old equipment?" So he gave me a JVC, DV camera.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I forgot what the model it is. I also was given a Panasonic handheld, shoots a mini DV, and I have an old PC that has a Matrox capture card, along with Adobe CS4.
Well, the thing is about those is I got a kit very similar. It's got a power pack and it's got the lights and they're all connected with the power pack and da da da. And the problem is they take up a ton of space. They weigh a lot, but they still work perfectly fine. So it's very annoying to have to get rid of them. And when you try to get rid of them, try and sell them to KEH or someone like that who buys and sells used gear. They'll give you, that thing that cost you $1,000. We'll give you $35 for it.
I know, it's ridiculous.
But it still works. That's what's really annoying. It still works just fine.
They will heat up a whole room in about 10 minutes. Also, but yeah, they work excellent. I just need some gels and some diffusion, and by gels I mean like different color filters, so you can change, from daylight to cooler light, and
Yep.
But yeah, I was so happy to get that equipment because those stands for the lights are, they're industry standard. So I can buy an LED panel and it will clip right on those stands.
That's right. They'll keep working for decades and decades and decades. They'll all work the same way. 100 years from now, they'll use the same light stands.
Yeah. But going back to what I said, so yeah, I want to use those the 1,000 watt bulbs for my observations and use that as my sun because it's really bright. So it's going to be real cool. I don't know what to do with those standard definition cameras.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's KEH.com. They'll give you $20.
I don't want to sell them. I'll be honest with you. I'd much rather keep them. And when I move to a bigger place, my plan is to have a studio set up with all video mixer and all standard definition cameras.
Wow.
And so my kids can play with it.
I got a clarification here. Earlier, a few minutes ago, you say that the equipment that you had was super rugged and heavy duty. sounds
Yeah.
like you were describing Lel. Is that a fact?
I don't know about heavy duty. Rugged, maybe. Maybe his voice.
There you go. Thanks.
Yeah. I would guess. Yeah, I would guess I was. But yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my images don't. What kind of lamp is that? Oh gosh. Sorry. Just looking here at the chat. That's is that how you turn on your PayPal, Jose?
That's a
Just
boy
flip
lamp.
Flip your PP up.
See?
It's a boy lamp.
There are boy lamps and there are girl lamps. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying.
When the switch is, pointing up, is turned on.
That's just
I guess that's a joke. Oh man, I really missed you guys.
Missed you, Carlos.
Especially Jose, and of course Stingray. And
I appreciate it, man. And it was good to hear from you earlier. Yeah, earlier I popped in the computer and to browse around and to check, create the thumbnail and schedule the show earlier. And ding dong ding, I got a phone call. What the hell in Discord? And it was Carlos. Where the hell you been, Jose? You all right? He's checking up on me. I appreciate that, man.
I thought Jose was dead or something. I thought his dogs ate him or something. I don't know.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I figure if you didn't eat your dogs are gonna eat you, right, Jose?
Yeah, you know it, man. You know it.
How to turn my camera around?
Oh yeah, I'm like 250 pounds now, Jose. I think last time
Damn.
I was
I'm
like
close.
280 or so.
No, I'm close to 200. I'm 195. I see you on camera. You Janus over there. Do you mean to do that or not?
Yeah, I'm trying to turn my camera around.
All right. You are. I see the air conditioner pipes and lines.
Hold on. I was just doing some gear. Hold on.
Okay. You broke the fourth wall, man.
Hold on, I just pushed the time.
And if it was a mistake, now you are in front of the war now. War sees you. You trying to flip the camera up? The back camera? Oh, well, we'll see it like that.
For a while, guys.
We'll see it like that anyway. All right, man. All kinds of fucking, look at that equipment. Stingray, look at that. You got tripods and lights and all kinds of shit in there. Ooh.
Oh dang. Huge, that's a huge anus.
Oh, you're a fucking camera guy. Look at that. Hell yeah.
Is that a P900?
Oh my god. They're old. Well, that was old.
Oldie but a goodie. Oh wow. He does have old kind of stuff. Is that? Oh wow, what was that? Okay. I think he doesn't realize he's in mute because I think he's talking.
I don't think he can hit the push to talk while he's... So being a camera guy, he's obviously incapable of flipping the camera in Discord. So he can't hit the push to talk button.
How about now?
Oh, now.
Yeah, where you know.
Oh, that was funny.
All right, it didn't. I tried it before and it didn't do it. So okay. So here's my couple of panels. I'll do this again. Just come up with a couple of panels right there. I've got a couple of GVMs right there. There's my 5D Mark IV, 5D Mark III, and then the flashes. And I was going to say, if you take this and you stick it on this, look, check this out. So you can do macro photography right here. So put something right there, and then you can put your camera on this little skateboard thing, and turn it around. So that's kind of nifty.
Microphone
So there you go.
for your picture.
So there you go. That's just some of my gear in my garage.
Hugh Janus, I think you ought to go to Boston and take a photograph of Nova Scotia with the moon set. That'd be a fantastic image.
Yeah, I remember you saying about that. That would be great, wouldn't it? It would be. No, I was going to say to Stingray, yeah, it's 5D Mark IV, which is getting on, but it still works brilliantly. That's the thing.
Oh, no, sorry,
So,
I didn't know it was a Mac 4. I thought it was a Mac 2.
oh yeah, no. No, this right. I just showed that the two bodies; those are both Mark IIs. But again, the Mark II was a revelation because those were the first ones that could record video on Canon side.
I got it the first day that it came out. Loved it.
Yep. So I got two of them, but I want to get the R5 as well. I was saying about. I wasn't on voice activity. I'm upgrading the R5, but the trouble is that you need to get two at a time. So that's a little bit of money. So I don't have that right now.
Well, I've got a Sony A7R3.
Yeah. So anyway, so there you go. I'm showing a bit of my gear. Yeah, I'm a photographer. That's what I do. It's my job.
Very nice. If I take pictures with my phone and my P900, am I a photographer?
Yes. Yes, you are. Not professional, pro photographer, but you're a photographer. I mean, if that's like your hobby and you do it all the time, but it's like saying, I jump in the pool. Am I a swimmer?
It depends if you are in the Olympics or not. What is a professional swimmer? He who participates in the Olympics?
Yeah, that would be a professional swimmer. Yeah, competes competitively. Right.
I think making money off of it is where it makes it professional, right?
Yeah, if you point your camera at someone or something and take a picture, and someone pays you to do that, yeah, professional.
No, I have to disagree with that.
There you go. I was about to say something.
I knew you would.
Because to be honest, I could pay Jose to take a picture of a Hugh Janus, and that does not make him a professional.
Okay.
Thank you.
100% of my livelihood is derived from taking photographs of things and people. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I think we had I think it was Jose's show, had a discussion about what is a professional though, and I don't think remuneration came into it, if I'm being honest.
So you define it then.
Yeah, I think that was a factor that it wasn't discussed. I don't think that was a factor about getting paid or not.
What?
Yeah.
What defines a professional in that case?
I don't know. I think I've read out the clinical definition of what it is, and that's just being proficient and knowledgeable in a subject area or subject area where it's just comprehensive knowledge, I guess.
But
then, well, by the definition, you probably have more comprehensive knowledge than I do. I'm very simple. My knowledge is very limited. I don't even use a light meter, for pity's sake.
Yeah, but the daft thing here is that contradicts the definition, because I'm not a professional photographer, whereas you are, and the fact that I might know a little bit more about how a camera works or digital image processing or something, that's irrelevant to being a professional photographer.
Well, I often will get to a wedding and the bride's dad will have a camera better than mine. That's not unusual. He'll have bought the latest one, the latest lens and everything. But then he puts it on P, and then which is for program, which basically turns into a point and shoot, and then off he goes, So anyway, but so the panel, I have the panels for still photography and video and stuff like that. I got 4 of those. And then I've got the rest of the flashes for still photography. And the reason for all the flashes, I'm going all what they call strobist, which means I'm using, instead of using studio gear,
No, that's what I used to. I used to have EX. What is it? EX2 280s.
I got
I used to have Interfit big flashlights, and then I just thought, why the fuck am I doing all of this?
588 EX2s.
Yeah. That's what I've got. Yeah, EX2. Well, I've only got one left now, and it's in a drawer, and I don't have any Canon equipment, so it's pretty pointless. But I came across it about a week ago. But I did used to have about 4 or 5 of them.
I got 2, and then one's broken, and then I've got a 3. What is it called? I've got a 430, which is a smaller one, which is actually one I use because it's not that powerful, but it's fine with ready reception, and it's about half the weight.
Okay, I got a job to do. I got a $2 Australian dollars from John Rapp, and he sent me the super chat, and he say, take a photo for me, Jose, pro responsibly. That was $2 Australian dollars. So that is exactly what I'm doing. And just to prove my point, I'm gonna share that on Discord from an Android phone. I took the picture, I click on it, I click on Discord, the share button, and see how easy it is. Now my phone is slow because it's a chip and Android thing. But John Rapp, thank you for the 2 Australian super chat for taking a picture with you. And I click in here, I send the picture, and this is the picture that I have just taken for you. It should be coming up whenever I decide to know. There you go. Breaking the fourth wall and everything. I have just done that. John Rapp, there you go. Thank you very much. Take a photo, pro responsibly, and that is what's going on. Breaking the fourth wall and everything. Thank you.
So you're a professional now.
Yes, I just pro responsibly. I got paid for it. Boom.
So whoever showed the kit thing, this is the Novatron flash kit I've got with this great big heavy thing. Again, look at it. It's in perfect condition, absolutely immaculate condition. Works brilliantly.
Oh, wow.
And if I wanted to sell it, someone would give me $35 for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I had no lights, and I'll tell you a little story. I went to Flat Earth Convention in 2017, and I had no lights. So what I did was I put bulbs in the as the modeling lights, and I used these lights to light the interviews.
Oh my word!
It worked. It worked.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, it was just regular lights with just modeling lights used as panels.
Hey, works for me. Wow.
All right. Let's see. Gosh, confusing getting in and out of all these settings.
That was a little bit of a hot mic there for a second.
Oh, was I?
Beautiful day.
They're
not doing any
you got the
spraying
camera
today.
on. Yeah, let me get your camera up. YouTube. Do you know how to hold the phone sideways to work for you better?
Oh.
There you go. Now we get a fullers.
You're showing that they haven't done any spraying today. No.
Nice. No chemtrails. Nice.
There's the fake moon, though.
It's the projection
anyway.
moon that you can see
The
through.
projected moon, the concave moon.
It was the transparent, concave, see-through projection moon.
Mm-hmm. And here's a dead R2D2 carcass.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta pull this thing, and there may or may not be wasp in here. Oh shoot, there are ants though. Ugh.
Are we still streaming, or are we off? I don't even know. I just came in.
We are on YouTube Live, so make sure to go to the stream, and I'm gonna throw another link so you can click on it and leave a like there. So you know what I mean.
Thank you.
Nice.
What is that? Is that architecture? Is that art, Carlos?
I mean, you could. This would probably sell on modern art for good money.
Yeah, it looks Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can take that and put it in the bonfire or the wood stove and get it red hot, and it's mostly clay probably, so it'll fire and then it'll be waterproof too.
Really?
A lot
Or
of
you
times.
could just do this.
It's a lot faster, but it's just not the same.
Not the same.
It's not. What are you doing?
Doing my job. I'm testing the signal coming out of this junction here.
So exactly. So
Oh.
it was that covered by a personal dome? Was that a solid personal dome that it was going on there?
I mean, it is fair.
And that inside that personal dome was a solid amount of matter there.
Yes.
So
Red-
if you were
Hmm?
if you were to look inside a flat earther's head, that's the personal dome. That's what's inside their personal dome. Just so
What,
you
like
know.
nothing?
Like garbage, yeah.
That's
Mud
so
and
mean.
Hollow?
That's
Hollow
just
earth,
rude.
hollow brain.
That's just
I mean, I didn't say it. I was
Just-
asking.
That is crazy for real. What is that? What are those? How do you call that?
This? It's
Yeah.
an ant. An ant.
Ant. So an ant
Ant
colony or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Thankfully, there's no ants in here, so
Right. They died up. Too hot.
yeah, I guess they couldn't handle the RF. They probably 5G killed them.
Is that a
The
cable
5G
TV?
coming in. Yeah, this is broadband, so it's there's a TV and what's it called, internet service also. I'm running a test. Can't show you that. There's some information that can't be put on camera, but yeah, basically just running a test on that. I guess this is more interesting than anything else going on YouTube right now. Huh? Oh, there's a tower. Yeah, no, if I show you the tower, somebody will figure out the location. Never mind.
Oh, take notes. Triangulate him.
Oh no, it's doable. It is doable.
East Alabama.
Easy. I once posted a video of me of the footage of my drone flying away, and by drone I mean just remote control quadcopter. So I had a video transmitter and my goggles. So and I was also had a built-in DVR in the goggles, so I was recording what was happening. So something happened where the flight controller glitched out, disconnected from the radio receiver. So I didn't have a protocol for loss of telemetry, meaning that you can tell the flight controller to shut everything off if you lose signal from the remote control. Well, I didn't change any of that. I left it as it came from factory, which the factory setting protocol for loss of telemetry was follow the last command given. Well, the last command given was full throttle ahead. So my drone basically just flew away from the park I was flying at, and I was watching on my goggles it flying away, and I couldn't do anything. So I had the footage.
Did you lose it?
Yeah, but I had the footage of it flying away and fading into snow, into what do you call it, static. So I posted the video. Yeah, Jose, go ahead.
I don't know for how long you've been there, but if you're gonna finish soon and go, it's good because you already doxed yourself. We got the number of that transformer of that electric heater next to the house, so we can locate.
What are we gonna do now?
So what I'm looking at like a moron. What heater? Shut up, Jose. You over here. I literally got goosebumps. And you said that like crap. Anyway, so I posted the footage of the drone flying away, and somebody saw what park it was because I put the location when I was there, and then they, by the footage, they calculated what the projected path of the drone would be and where I could find it. So I had some on that Facebook group. I had some military friends, and they just used the video and then the location where I was at, and then they're like, "Oh, here." They drew me a map of where the drone could be. So yeah, there's some smart people out there. That's all I'm trying to say. And they can be used for good or for evil. So, anyway.
Very cool, man.
Let me turn this off because I do not want to dox myself.
Good job, bro. Good job. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So when I do eventually get a drone, the first thing I'm going to do is put one of my Apple AirTags on the drone.
Yep. That would be a good idea, sir.
Weighs nothing, and yeah.
Well, nowadays it's a lot easier for that to not happen, because there's a lot better technology.
Yeah.
But if you have a photography, drone, I would recommend putting an AirTag for sure, because in case of theft and the rare chance that it does have a flyaway, that would be good.
All right, guys. I got a piece of something I want to share here. And this is by Robert Gilles. I don't know how you mention it. Let me see. Robert Gillis. Robert Gillis. One subscriber only? Why haven't subscribed to Robert Gillis? Because I'm going to play your video. I'm going to subscribe to you. Hit the bell notification icon. I click the like over here. I'm going to share the link to this video because I'm going to play it. And I encourage people to go and check it out. If you like it, there's going to be the link on the YouTube universe. The title of this video is Perspective View of Blackpool Tower and Doe Crane.
Last telephone.
I'm just looking.
Go ahead. I'm just playing. I'm sharing my screen. I'm playing this clip over here for YouTube.
Al Crag.
Oh, that's so annoying in my face.
Must still mute. Oh, sorry, let me go on mute.
Find the mute button, Carlos. Find the mute.
Sorry.
Gary, you should watch this and tell me what you think about this. What Robert Gillis is.
Yeah, it's all wrong.
Specifically, it's kind of a mess.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm not paying. I'm trying to look at this, but the sun is right on my face. There's a 20-minute gap in the days where the sun is right on my face. I'm facing that way. Look at the computer monitor, and the sun is right on my face. So I'm just sharing this, but I'm not watching. Sorry.
Cool. I just rewatched my rubbish, crappy,
if you're sharing
terrible
your audio, we
footage.
can't hear it.
There's no audio in the video they're playing. The title of the video is Perspective View of Blackpool Tower and Doe Craig. There's another one. Orthographic construction.
Yeah, it's Darrell Crag. A crag is basically part of a mountain. It's like a steep rock face or cliff. That's what a crag is, at least in the UK anyway. I don't know if you say that anywhere else.
No,
this is the second video.
I don't think they say that here.
Yeah. Well, crag. Certainly do in the UK.
Yes. The Welsh have another word for it as well. There's Tor as well.
Yeah, Tor is another name for a mountain, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
That's
hill,
what
or whatever you want to term it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bump. A
Whereas
bump in the
crag,
ground.
a crag really is just a part of a mountain. It's like a cliff face or rock face.
Right. One of my best Yes albums.
This is actually really cool, the way this is broken down and like 3D pulled out of the screen this way.
I'm familiar with the Yes album, Tormato. Nobody? Ooh.
You say tomato or tomato?
Well, it's the word tomato or tomato, but the word Tor, and it's sort of like there is a place in England called Yes Tor. T-O-R.
It was a live album.
No, but it was T-O-R as in just the hill. It's the guy. It's a black and white photo of a guy divining rods with a splattered tomato on top of it. That's the cover. But if no one's heard of that, that's getting obscure now, isn't it? That's
early 7. I've heard of it.
Yeah. Don't Kill the Whale was on that.
I like Yes.
Yeah, one of their only singles, "Don't Kill the Whale," was on that. Taking me back now.
Well, in another time, I'm gonna look at this one. It's later night tonight, and look at this on my own time and leave a comment in the comment section over there for Robert Gillis. Anybody have any comments and thoughts on this one? Is orthographic construction of Blackpool Tower, Doe Craig, and Old Man Coniston.
I stepped away for 20 seconds. Did I miss something?
Yes, I'm screen sharing a cool clip by Robert Gillis. I'm gonna paste it on the Daily Moon Sensor. That one. It's a minute and a half clip.
Oh, cool.
I cannot see it. I cannot see it properly because of the angle I'm looking at the screen is very bright. I don't see a lot. I'm sorry. I'm just sharing for you to want to look.
Well, when you're done with that, I've got a couple questions for Gary if he's alive there.
He haven't say a word. He's all quiet over here.
Are you with us, Gary?
Well, 40 people watching right now. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming in. It is odd time for me to come in. This afternoon show that I do like once a week, every other week. Once a week, every other week. Thank you very much for watching. There's 24 likes. If everybody watching could hit the thumbs up, so we can, YouTube can, try to spread the word. Like, hey, there's a show in here that has a lot of interactions. We get new people coming in, new voices, a new breed, new arguments, new points of view about the discussion of what we talk about here. And support if you can. There's Super Chat, PayPal, or join Discord. The server is the Daily Boom, and there's a link in the description box. We are joined by Blue Marble Science, which he had a live stream earlier, and I went to troll him responsibly for 1 minute. We got Bro Alem. Carlos is back. Chaik, Discord user, is here. Quiet since the time he joined. Doofus Manfred, Earth is Live, Gary Webenga is being missing in action today. Hugh Janus, Jesse Gordon, Larry Bro PS in the house. Matt M2M says, I'm here. The other Merle is not even listening. And present in the house, the Stingray. Thank you very much, everybody, for being. You want to share something screen, or just you want to just talk to Gary? Yeah,
Well,
Jesse.
I would share my screen, but my roommate's taking a online quiz through the college, and if I clog up the internet with the video, it could kick him off the test. So I'm not doing
His
video.
college.
Do it. No,
You don't need
just-
Gotta
college.
get some.
Now I'm doing everything I
better
can to
internet.
encourage him to.
I didn't go to college and I'm doing all right. I'm okay for it.
That bandwidth, don't clog up that bandwidth.
Carlos
You telling
became a
me with
cable
all
guy.
those? You tell me with all those satellites out there, you guys are still worried about bandwidth? I mean, we should have
Oh,
internet
dear.
everywhere, man.
You gotta get some Cat 6 cable.
Gary,
problem-
Gary, you should jump in because before, so you can at least say to Carlos a quick thought on the camera, and then Jesse can take it. You think Carlos was agreeing with you about needing a small camera for a small scale thing? You should jump in before Carlos get out of here.
Yeah, man. It's only a limited time that you get to see and hear me. It's a privilege. You get to lay eyes on me.
There you go. That's what we call the Spanish privilege right here. Take advantage. of it.
Spanish privilege. That's great. That's fantastic. That is.
Maybe turn it into the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody
There you
expects
go.
the Spanish Inquisition.
I met a Puerto Rican guy earlier, Carlos. There was a reunion for the mobile home park that I lived, and I went over there just to look to see, like, let's see who goes. I never been in a park reunion of the neighbors and shit.
HOA of Trailer Park.
Yeah, on Australia Park I live. It was in the community house. When I walked in, it was the landlord, the lady, the owner of the park. It was, and there was another guy sitting in there with her, and the guy that clean up, the guy that does the clean up in the park. What's up, man? And I sat next to the other guy, and he's like, "What's up, man? You know Puerto Rican to me?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, I'm Puerto Rican too." I mean, we two start talking. It was just him and me and the landlord lady. It was funny.
Oh, it's funny as heck. Well, you know the saying, you can find. Yeah, how do you know somebody's Puerto Rican? Don't worry, you'll see his flag.
Yeah, he's him, man. I did. Well, I actually did. A short sleeves, and I got the Puerto Rican, the Hecho en Puerto Rico stamp in my arm.
Called it.
I got a tattoo with a Puerto Rican flag that says "Made in Puerto Rico." I mean, that kind of gives
Awesome.
it away.
Yeah. My dad has a Puerto Rican flag in front of his yard, and they saw somebody at the supermarket. His car, he had a flag in his car, and my mom and dad are like, "Hey, this guy's Puerto Rican," and then he comes out to the car, and then they start talking, and then like, "Where do you live?" "Well, I live on this road." My dad said, "Well, I live close to you." He started, and then the guy said, "Are you the guy with the Puerto Rican flag in the yard?" He said, "Yeah." So yeah, the Puerto Ricans will find each other real quick.
Yeah, man. And that was cool, man. I met that guy, and he said he works in he had a few jobs. He said, I also volunteer in a food bank type of thing. Because there was in the community house, there was a bunch of food, cereals and canned like vegetables and peanut butters and shit. I said, like, hell yeah, man, made my day. Got some cereal, got some peanut butter and shit. He said, I work in a food bank and stop by or whatever. I said, hell yeah, man. I don't feel ashamed, bro. I'm poor, I don't make money. So it's cool, to get an extra. He said, like, and he told me, and we're looking for volunteers. So there you go. You want to volunteer? I said, dude, I couldn't say no. I had to say, like, yeah, I'm in. So I don't know when, if next week or something, I'm gonna be just working as a volunteer in the food bank for. It's 2 days, I think, Tuesday and Saturdays. So I'll be hanging out with him for a few times a week. Moving forward. I don't know for how long, but at least I want to give him a hand for a few days at least to help him. So that's cool, man. It makes me feel good that I'm gonna do something. I didn't do that. I didn't say I'm gonna
cool, man.
volunteer, and I didn't say I'm gonna volunteer. I'm gonna work a few hours for you because the people that volunteers there got privileges over the best meat and the best food that arrives. You know, like big
yeah.
pork legs, like full pork legs, big ass chunks of like
Pernil.
beef and steaks and shit like that. Yeah, I didn't do it for that. I'm just doing it for helping. Hey, I help
got
him.
you.
He gotta hook me up, man. I'm gonna be eating good meat. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. No, there's definitely, man. There's definitely ways to get food in here in the United States, man. And I'm not one to be ashamed either. You know, if somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna give you this," I'm like, "Well, as long as it's nobody else that needs it other than me, then yeah, I'll take it."
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, my parents, there's a church up the street from their house, and they always have a food bank thing, and they do every week, and they always get stuff from there. So, yeah, my dad, he's never lived in the U.S. Or worked in the U.S., so he doesn't have a Social Security. So that's kind of sad. They moved here, been here for 3 years, and but yeah, he's a U.S. citizen, but doesn't have any benefits because he's never worked here or lived here till now.
Yeah, it happens. It's a mess, man. You know, it's a mess.
Well, that's what his children are for. Take care of him. So we do take care of him. So, but
And that reunion today was about like the hurricane season is kind of in it, and
Oh, yeah?
the mobile home park, you know, a big hurricane coming or something. Like you know, the landlord ladies is I would like to know where you guys are, just in case if you want to stay in the place, if you should move, get evacuated, move to like you know shelters and shit. I said like fuck no, man. I had a bad experience in a shelter years ago for a fucking hurricane over here with my dogs and shit.
Oh, yeah?
This time I got a plan. Big hurricane coming in. If one coming in, then I'll just hop in the car with my partner and we bring the dogs and we just drive next to a big building like a Walmart and we just park there until the hurricane passes and we'll come back home. Fuck that. That's my plan. I'm
Dude,
gonna go
this-
to no fucking shelter, you know.
Hey, go one step further and just take a big heavy duty chain and then just strap it to the hitch or the back of your vehicle and into a to a pole, and then you'd be good to go. So you ain't going nowhere.
right. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be like those dogs on Mario, you know,
Yeah.
the little
Oh,
ball and chain.
I think Gotti is here available now. What's up, Gary?
Oh snap!
I'm here.
Hey, Gary, I thought you had your mic muted there for a bit.
I did. I was busy.
He was
Did you
busy. Oh, go ahead.
Did you see those pictures I posted for you in the uncensored chat?
No.
Okay, are you able to look at that, or are you driving?
No, I'm sitting in my backyard right now.
Oh,
with a glass of
wonderful.
iced tea.
I'll post them again.
I got him, Jesse. I mean, well, you just gotta scroll up just a tiny bit. You put 3 pictures. I don't want the same pictures spam over and over, man. So just don't repost them, please.
Oh, okay. Just so the one I'm interested in is the one with shows a picture of a mountain and has the text overlays, and the inset with the Google Earth view.
Right, like a little blue square in the top with it. Right, I can share that. I'm sharing that one.
Yeah, that's it. So let me know when you can see that, Gary.
Let us know.
Yeah, I don't even have the
They're all
YouTube
taking
playing.
time to pull up.
If you click on my name, can you watch the stream? What I'm screen sharing, Gary? Have you tried that? If you click on over Jose,
it's roboting already, and it's gonna. When I click on the screen on that, my phone just starts roboting. I don't know why.
Well, okay.
So are you in the Daily Boom on Sensor then? Are you in the Daily Boom on Sensor?
Like you're roboting right now.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary. So it's actually
It's
just
probably me. I'm sure it's my end.
Yeah, so it's just a picture, so you don't actually need to stream it because it's just a picture. So if you just click the link in the uncensored chat, then you can just load the picture, and then once it's loaded in...
Nothing. I see everybody's names, but there's no pictures hardly coming up. It's not even pulling shit in, so I'll have to look at later.
So we go by voice. Jesse, you want to describe it?
I literally
not
have
going to be able to
nothing,
see images.
just names.
Yeah, we'll just talk. Well, let's not try to... If you want to describe the image, let's go for it. Let's talk and not trying to present anything.
Sounds good. So this is a picture of, and then the other picture was a diagram of when I took a picture from an 8,900 foot high mountain peak and 12.3 miles.
Okay, I already commented on your original video, if that's what you're talking about. You got my comments.
No, this is a different one.
That sounds pretty much the same.
No, it was from, I did a whole bunch of stuff from that same point that was that high. This is a different one. This one is...
I can't see it right at the moment. If I look at it later or whatever, I'm not going to comment on something I can't look
but
at.
he's going to describe it and see if you can visualize it.
Well, basically...
I literally don't have anything pulling up.
Well, that's okay. It's really simple.
Listen to his explanation, to the way he's going to describe the picture on the screen.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on his. I'm not going to visualize his thing because then he'll. If I say one thing wrong because I got the idea wrong, then he's going to have a heyday.
That's fine.
Sorry, I don't do that.
That's fine. You don't have to comment.
Listen to me. Listen.
I'll find your thing when I get better reception.
But that's cool.
I live in a rural town. We don't have the best reception all the time.
It's not for agreement or disagreement, but look what is on screen. Look, there's a circle. Like if you're looking through the
I can't see what's on screen.
Listen, Gary. Listen to me. Listen to me. When you see the cartoons and you see somebody pull a telescope and look and you see a circle, right? Inside that circle, in the image, there's a cross. Like we got a crosshair. There's nothing in it. Let's say we got a circle and we got a crosshair. Now, in the horizontal line of the crosshair, there's a mountain underneath it. So we got a mountain in this circle and we got a crosshair, and the crosshair is right in the top of the mountain. If you could visualize that in your mind, that's awesome.
Can I say something real quick? I mean, it doesn't take much just to click on this chat at the picture. Seriously?
Yeah, he's been avoiding this for days.
Don't have reception. What you gonna do?
Anyway,
well, I heard B-ball a little bit, but he was roboting. But I'm sure he was probably talking about airplane flights in the southern hemisphere.
Okay, explain this.
That's what he talks about now. He wants to avoid the idea of no curvature.
So Gary,
he said that you can see the picture easily because he's also on a phone. I can see him on my phone.
So Gary, basically, it's very similar to the Black Ball Tower situation. There's a high protrusion that's near the observer.
I can't see the damn picture. I told you already. I'm not going to comment. I'll leave a comment when I get the picture later. If I get better reception later, I'm outside.
Well, that's okay. But you have seen the. You have seen the.
Okay, I just told you. Can you hear?
Well, you've seen
I'm
the
not
Black Ball
commenting
Tower.
on your damn picture until I see the picture.
Jesse,
You're wasting your breath.
Hold on, Gary. I can explain this very easily with a $2 super chat by RT96.
If you're gonna try this, I'm not gonna try to explain what I can't see.
But Gary, I'm talking.
Either get that through your head, or we're just done. I'll just go and watch another video somewhere else.
Gary, I want to read a $2 super chat by RT96. That's not what I just say. I say I can explain what's going on with an easy way with a $2 super chat by RT96, and the super chat says, and I quote, "My reception is bad. All I can do is interrupt." You are proving his point, people. Because you got a bad reception. You don't have to interrupt that much, man. Okay, you cannot see the picture. You don't want to picture it, imagine it. Okay, we still don't need to interrupt, man. We can talk.
I mean, if you can't hear anything or see anything, why are you even here? I mean, that makes no sense.
Yeah, he
Just
like
go.
I mean,
he cut me off every single time within like 2 words I started a sentence. He's been running from this for like 3 days now. He's scared to death of it.
Anyway, Jesse, I'd like to hear about it. Anyway, I'd like to hear about it.
I think it's I don't know. There's no way that you have such bad reception that you can't stop what you're doing. Just click to look at a picture. It's not a video. It's just a picture.
Well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and let's just hear about it anyway. Let's go ahead, Jesse.
Right.
I'd like to hear about it.
You know what, B-Ball, you have lots of days where you don't have shitty reception. I've heard
but
you.
I'm still able to look at a picture.
If I pull up the picture, if it came up, all those pictures, I went to the Daily Boom Uncensored. Nothing was pulling up. I could see names, and that's it. There was no pictures. There was no writing. Nothing.
All right, Gary. So go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead and describe it.
B-Ball, you're too obsessed
Gary.
with me. All you can do is talk about me. I hear you in other people's chats. It's constantly talking about me. Am I in your head or what?
Jesse,
You
please.
do. You specifically. So I must be in your little brain.
All right,
whatever's
Gary.
left of it.
If your signal's so bad, if your signal's so bad, how can we hear you so well?
That's a good question.
It is not for a lack
I
of
can hear you
roles.
sometimes, and sometimes I can't. You're roboting a lot of times.
It is not for the lack of roles because Gary is the person with the most amount of roles. He got 5 roles in the server.
Maybe he has too many rolls. It's too heavy. You need to take a few off.
It's not going to affect your internet. Anyway, I'd like to hear from Jesse personally. That's what I'd like to.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, thank you. So anyway, the vantage point is, like I said, 8,900 feet high plus a little bit. And 12.3 miles away is Union Peak, which sticks up nice and sharp. That's the dark mountain. And then about what was it? 83.6 miles away is a saddle, part of Round Top Mountain or something. And then if you go to the diagram, can you put up the diagram picture, Jose? It was the second one I posted, the last one I posted actually, that has the colored lines in the CAD program.
Yeah, I got it up.
Okay, thank you. So Mount Scott was the observer location. Union Peak, can you see the red spikes and stuff that are at different heights?
See?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So you can see the Round Top Mount Saddle actually should be visible if the Earth were flat. It should be higher than Union Peak, angularly higher than Union Peak if the Earth were flat. But if you look at the photo, you see that that saddle is actually appearing lower. So it's basically identical to the Black Ball Tower situation, except it's a natural tower. And the other difference is the observer is way up high. So when I make a scale model of this, my camera is not going to hit the ground. So even if I do a 1 to a 5,000 to 1 scale model, my camera is still almost 2 feet above the ground. So I'm not running into that issue. So this is why I wanted to talk to Gary about it naturally, because I need to know just how to make this scale model that will please him, because obviously the size of my camera is not going to become an issue.
Now, the fact that the peaks behind are actually level with the mountain that's in the foreground, it can only happen if there's a curvature, right? There's no other way around it.
Correct. The saddle that's directly beyond the near peak.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way that either the light has to curve the wrong way, or the Earth has to curve in order for that saddle to appear below the Union Peak.
Wait, where is the observer in all this?
Up at are you looking at the
Mount Scott?
Top left.
Yeah, the top left where it says observer.
Mount
Scott.
Yeah, the writing is a little bit bossy. Huh?
Oh, right. The codec probably doesn't like red on gray.
No, it's all right. You can see it now because
Yeah.
Jose's just.
I
sending it.
magnified it a tiny bit so we can at least read Mount Scott. Yeah. 34 feet observer. Union Peak next to it. Then we got lower in the right, Round Top Mount Saddle and CC what? Something.
I think it's the Siskiyou.
Yeah, Siskiyou.
Yeah. I've never been there, but it's on Google Earth, and it too should be visible, and it's not. Although I don't know if that's just because of the haze, because the haze gets pretty bad beyond Round Top Mountain.
So who took this image?
I did.
Oh, you did. Cool.
Yeah, I used my cell phone looking through my surveyor's theodolite.
All right.
So I actually have the angle measurements roughly to the nearest arcsecond for the vertical also. If anyone's interested, I can get that.
Yeah, there's too much mess in here.
So as you can see, the Black Ball Tower situation was a little different because the observer wasn't that high. So when you scale it down to 1,000th or whatever, that puts the camera close enough to the ground that the body of the camera might prevent it from being off center, from the center line of the lens being lined up. I don't know, but that's why I want Gary's input on this, because obviously I can have my camera the exact proper height above the ground.
Can I give you my thoughts on this graph?
Yes.
I, Jose JG, am orthographic graphs illiterate. Thank you.
It's a bit confusing.
You have to kind of use your imagination a little bit to a certain extent. I mean, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, I'm imagination illiterate, man.
No way.
I mean, sometimes I am.
So Union Peak is the peak that we can actually see in the foreground. I know as that dark silhouette we can see right in the foreground, right?
Correct. That's Union Peak.
Yeah. And then the two peaks behind it, they're actually appearing as if they're level, but they're actually a lot higher.
Right. Exactly. Well, the two peaks appear a little bit higher, but the saddle between the two peaks appears clearly lower.
Right.
And even that should be higher.
Right.
And then the inset at the top of that picture is to show that I did identify those peaks on Google Earth, so I do know that is in fact what that land feature is, and that's how I know that it's 83 whatever miles away.
Right.
And I have thrown a link in the YouTube chat box of this graph on screen right now. So individuals want to open it on their own end, and they can, magnify it and zoom in and move it around. Better quality.
Thank you, Jose. I feel better now.
I'm back.
Hell yeah.
I saw your picture with the crosshairs. I shut my phone off and restarted it. And
Thank you very much. Yeah.
See everything.
You see how I explained the light, right? We got the circle, we got the little mountain, and the crosshair, the horizontal is right where the top of the mountain.
Yeah. Did you notice his horizontal line is not horizontal?
Do you know why?
No, I didn't.
No, tell me why.
Because I was holding my cell phone up to my surveying instrument, and I didn't hold the cell phone level. Do you know what I mean?
And how do I know you even had your whatever you had level?
Well, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, though, does it? No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Sure, it does.
No,
okay, if I have a scope, with crosshairs on a gun, and I'm pointing at a deer, and then
it's not a gun. It's not a gun. What are you talking about?
It's the same kind of a thing. You're looking through a sight.
Hold on, Matt, please. Gary's got a point.
You're looking through a sight.
Right. If I got a something with a crosshair, if I got a one monocle telescope and I want to look at the car tire, I can put that horizontal crosshair anywhere. And if I want to look at the moon with the same crosshair, I can look up to the moon and I can put the horizontal crosshair anywhere. How do we know that this is level crosshair, parallel, or whatever you want to call it? Right?
You don't.
Level because the scope,
You don't.
because the scope itself is leveled.
We have to accept his word for it.
Yeah,
Well,
look
I
at
mean,
this.
can I just make a point? Can I make a point? You got all the
You
coordinates.
can't even get the one part level, and how do we know he got the other?
Well, can I just make a point? He's got all the coordinates. He's got all the coordinates there and all the rest of it. The eye
he's
level
got
and all the rest of it.
coordinates, doesn't mean he had his
can I
camera
finish?
level.
Can I finish, please? Thank you, Gary. So he's got all the coordinates. He's got his eye level and all the rest of it. So you can actually check on Google Maps.
Where's
You
his
can
eye
check
level?
all the. You can hang on. So you can check all the different elevations and all the rest of it, exactly where he is. So you can check it for yourself. So there
Okay,
you
so
go.
which one of these numbers is his eye level? Could you show me one of them?
Oh, Gary,
That shows that is whatever he was using was level. Can you show
no,
it to me?
Gary, Union Peak
Oh.
is lower than Mount Scott. So I'm not even
Yeah,
claiming
I'm
that the
asking
slope
if
is
we
level.
if you can show anything that shows your camera was level, because if
It
you
wasn't.
tilted your
Listen.
camera slightly up, it would
Listen.
not. It would intersect at a different point.
Listen, the camera was not.
Listen.
The scope was not level. It was pointing down at Union Peak because Union Peak was way below me. I lined it up to the top of
Okay.
Union Peak.
So it was way below you, but yet your sight is at the top of it on this one.
It's not. I mean, the distances you're actually talking about and the
See,
variations
nobody here
you're
actually can.
actually talking
He
about.
can't confirm
Can I
that he
finish
had
talking?
his camera level at
Jesus
all.
Christ!
It was
I can't even
you
get the
never stop
horizontal
interrupt-
level.
Gary, listen, I'm not even claiming it's level. I'm claiming it's pointing at the top of Union Peak, and the top of Union Peak is below me. It is not level. There's no.
Jesse, now I got a point. I got it in behalf of Gary. How do we know that you had to point down to point to the top of the mountain? I don't know if you actually had to point up slightly so you can put the crosshair there. We got to take your word for it. We got to trust you, right?
Well,
There's no evidence that you did that.
Yeah, I know, and I appreciate that, but I do have a video showing it. But at the end of the day, yeah, you can either trust me or you can go there and do it yourself. I've got the exact coordinates, so that's not.
Where is this at?
But Gary,
So where's this
listen-
at? Where's this at?
One second, Gary. We want a good question. Let's hear from Matt. Let's try not to interrupt Matt. He's trying to make a point. Giving it 30 seconds, giving a few sentences. Let's not interrupt Matt. And then you, Gary.
Yeah, the point I'm making, it really doesn't make a difference because if you're looking at the variations and differences between the distances of the mountain at the peak and the foreground and the background, there's no way it could be any different because the variations are vast. It makes no difference whether your camera was pointed slightly down or slightly up. It makes no difference at all. You know, because there's no way those peaks there's no way those peaks in the background could possibly be level in that way unless there was curvature because the differences in height are
unless he's
massive.
actually pointing upward, and those other ones are farther back.
Well, if you
that would be
bothered
more
to
like the Blackpool Tower type deal.
if you looked at the actual coordinates exactly where he was, you'd be able to know, wouldn't you, one way or the other?
You just know his coordinates. You don't know if he tilted his camera up or down.
It doesn't
or
make
had
any
it level or
difference. The
anything.
variations that you're talking about makes no
Sure it
difference,
does. Where
Gary.
the
Yes, no,
crosshairs-
it doesn't,
Where the
Gary.
crosshairs intersect does make a difference.
Nonsense! You're talking rubbish, man.
Oh my God!
Oh my
You guys are
God,
so
yourself.
stupid.
No idea what you're talking about again.
Next, he's going to say you have to be wearing
Gary, you're
sandals.
so fucking dumb. You make excuses all the time.
You know, I got a little scope. I got a pellet gun with a scope. I'm going to take the scope out and show you how just tilting it up or down makes a difference. Where
None of these, yeah, but you have to do the
crosshairs are
same.
pointed
Gary,
out.
Gary, you have to do the same thing that he's doing here, though. You have to do exactly the same. You have to go
Okay,
to
well,
where that
where's he
point
at?
is.
I
and do
think
it
he
yourself.
posted another picture from Shasta.
Well, there's the coordinates. There's the coordinates. You could check it yourself, Gary. It's
Okay,
right there.
I
You
don't
can
just
do the same way.
tell me where he was at.
The coordinates are there,
Was he
Gary.
in California?
All right, guys, we gotta slow down. We gotta slow down.
Why do you
Matt.
guys have to
Fucking
be
idiot.
so obstinate? You can't just
Relax,
answer a simple
man.
question. Was it in California? Because I will be going up north in California in about a month.
Oregon. It was in
All right,
Oregon.
all right. Earth is Live and Doofus want to
That's
get
not
in
hard.
there. Earth is Live and Doofus trying to get there.
So the tool itself, right? Once you set that crosshair on whatever you're looking at, it's not going to move. Then he took his camera and pointed it inside the scope of the tool. So do you think the crosses are going to move after that, Gary? Is that why?
No,
like, I don't
that's not
understand
what I
you're
was talking about. I said, did he have the crosshairs in the tool aimed properly in the first place? Was it tilted upward slightly? Was it tilted downward slightly?
Downward.
You don't know that.
Well, it doesn't matter because we're comparing the
Sure it
apparent
does.
height. No, listen.
No, it doesn't.
Would you let me finish one sentence, please, Gary? Just one. It doesn't matter where the instrument was pointing because what we're looking at is the difference in apparent height of the near peak and the far ridge. Changing the angle of the crosshairs is not going to make the ridge in the distance suddenly rise up above or fall down below the near
Now
point.
I understand that. I was
Actually, you're
looking.
wrong.
I thought the crosshair had something to do with this image, and the crosshair is just is in the instrument, but it has nothing to do. The argument is the mountain in the foreground versus the mountain in the background. Now I understand. Right. Okay, thank you.
And yeah, so the summary of this photograph
Doofus,
is
Larry, you jump in before Doofus. Doofus was waiting there.
Okay, I just want to make a real quick point to Jesse. If you want to appease the naysayers, I don't even know why you'd really want to, but if you wanted to, you could show in your video the bubble on the instrument just to make sure that they know that the instrument itself is set up properly. And basically, I guess for this one, I guess for some reason Gary wants to see the angle that the instrument is tilted down. For some reason, the angle measurement on the device would also be not really useful, but useful, I guess, for him.
I think the. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
It's irrelevant for the
summary
actual argument, yeah.
Yeah, the summary I get out of this image is that the crosshair, which is at the instrument, at the observer, and the mountain peak, and the far ridge are all collinear. They're all lined up. Now, if that was a binocular, a handheld binocular with a crosshair, that'd be just fine. There's no leveling and orientation. It's just showing 3 points, the crosshair, which is at the observer, the mountain peak, mid-distance, and the ridge. They're collinear.
What if we get rid of the crosshair? What if we get rid of the crosshair?
Yeah, the crosshairs are relevant. Crosshairs completely irrelevant.
Exactly.
The crosshair.
We're missing the point.
Well, no, wait. Okay, you can have your 2-point solution of the mountain peak and the ridge, or your 3-point solution of the observer, the mountain peak and the ridge.
Hold on, guys.
I have a question.
Hold on, Carlos. Bibble, and then you, Carlos. Bibble, go ahead.
I don't think that's the way you set it up. So the crosses are not. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse. The crosses are not level.
No, it's right to left is level, but it's pointing down.
Okay. So it's pointing down. Okay, and the mountain in the foreground should be where?
On a flat Earth, it would be lower.
Okay, that's okay. Got it. So the crosses are not level. So basically, they're irrelevant. They're just pointing at the top of the mountain.
Exactly.
All right. We got Carlos. Carlos wants to jump in there. Go ahead.
The fella arguing the difference between binoculars and a telescope. Are you saying that because of the discrepancy on the fact that the telescope pivot point is not at the actual end of the lens of the telescope, when you tilt it up and down, you are gaining or losing height?
No.
Is that what you're referring to?
No, it's just the point. In summary, that the observer, either holding a binocular or holding a spotting scope that's on a mount or through the theodolite, that's just a location that has a measured elevation. That's 1 point. Mm-hmm. And the fact that the 2 far points, now we have 3 points in a line. Yes, you could ignore the crosshair and just go with the 2 points in a line, but the fact that you have 3 points. So yeah, the crosshair can be handheld. It doesn't, as Jesse said, he also has the measured vertical angle, which could be available, but it was not germane to his point. But yes, the instrument was set up properly. Yes, his camera was held a little cockeyed. So there's no reason to think that the crosshairs aren't level, because there's no reason to think any camera is level. So yeah, you got 3 points in a line: crosshair, the mountain peak, and the far ridge. That's what
What
I
do you
got
think,
in the
Carlos?
summary.
Carlos, you understand better now?
Yeah, sure.
No.
Carlos, you understand that he
All right.
didn't do this properly?
Gary, let's hear Blue first, and then you, Gary. Hold on, Blue Marble, and then Gary. Go.
No, well, I just wanted to say, if I ever get in a gun battle with somebody, I hope it's going to be Gary, because while he's screwing around trying to get his damn sight level, I'm going to put a round right through his ear. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't.
And that's a joke.
Different.
Everybody
Well,
see this as a joke. There's no threats in here. It's just a joke. Just everybody.
Let Blue finish. Let Blue finish.
No, the sight, a telescopic sight does not have to be level. There's no requirement for that. That is just bullshit.
Oh my God, are you joking? You
No,
know
I'm
your
not.
you know your sight. You know your
Gary, shut up.
know
Let
your
me finish.
scope
Gary, shut up.
It has to be level with
Matt,
the
you're
barrel,
doing
and
it
you're
worse.
going to be
Matt, you're
completely
doing it
off
worse.
on your shot, Blue.
Gary,
Never
you
lets
don't know what
anybody.
you're talking about.
Hey, can I ask Gary a question? So help explain it to me, Gary. I really do want to understand the truth. Okay, so are you saying that if I were to point my scope further up or further down, that the apparent relationship between the near peak and the far ridge would change? If I pointed it up or down, would the far ridge rise up above the near peak? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, if you're pointing slightly up, it's like the Blackpool picture. You're going to have the ridges, which are much further, right? Right. They're going to be below. That's how parallax effects works with things closer versus things further. But like my example of my little model pickups on a picnic table, the big one is twice the size as the little one. I can put them side by side and just start sliding the big one forward, and it will look like it's smaller and lower than the little pickup.
Yeah, but that's short distances. You're talking about much longer distances, Gary.
No,
As usual, you've got no
because
idea of scale whatsoever.
This mountain in the foreground
Oh
is
my
much
God.
closer than the ridges much
That's not a
further.
comparison. That's no comparison
It
whatsoever.
is a comparison. It's
No, it's
exactly a
not.
comparison.
Because the distances are vast. It's silly sod. Oh
There's a
my
very
God.
parallax.
What?
There's a very easy. There's a very
Yeah,
easy
it is.
solution.
It's such a thing, you know.
You've got
Parallax is
no idea of scale, Gary, because you talk about parallax, but scale is actually quite important.
the same with the
something you
Blackpool
don't really
pack,
understand, though, do you? Really, because you don't understand scale.
It's the same thing with a Blackpool picture. If the observer moved further away, the tower would have dropped below the mountains.
Well, how far are you talking about?
There's a very easy
Doesn't
solution.
matter. They would drop below it because that's a parallax
Nonsense.
effect.
Hey, guys,
Moving
I got another
closer,
question for
we'll move
Gary.
at twice the. We'll change at twice the rate as a thing much further.
All right, Gary.
There's a very easy solution. All right, yeah,
Basically
there's a
the same
very
thing as
easy
this.
solution. Okay, there's a very easy solution to this, right, Gary? Because you say you've got some sort of scope or sight. You can take that scope and, through some combination of tilt, figure out if you can get something that's at least 200 feet away from you and another object another 100 feet up behind it, to change the relationship as they appear, one higher, one lower, merely by tilting the scope up or down. If you can cause that to happen, that would be wonderful.
No, it's not a matter of just tilting the scope. It's a matter of if that object, that like this mountain here, is actually higher than him.
So what
That's
would I?
the whole point.
So what would I have?
And nobody knows here. Nobody knows. You can make this picture appear lower or higher just by aiming your scope up or down to
But
hit
what would
that
I-
mountain peak. If it's below you,
Nobody-
you can
nobody
aim it to hit
agrees
that
with you,
mountain peak.
Gary.
It would look just like this, or if you aimed it upward, it would look just like this. But nobody knows here. He has no way of showing that he actually did that, or that he was
So-
lower or higher than it. He just aimed a crosshair at a mountain peak.
Makes no difference, Gary.
Sure, if that mountain peak is actually
it
higher than
doesn't.
him,
Because
then
that peak is
the
not
ridges
just a-
farther back will be below the mountain peak, just like
No, it
Blackpool
wouldn't.
Tower.
No, it wouldn't. If he
Sure it would.
pointed, no, it wouldn't, Gary. You're talking nonsense.
Yes,
It's not
it
going to
would.
make any
It's a
difference.
line of
You're
sight
not
with
gonna
the scope.
Can you let me finish? It
Line
doesn't
of
matter.
sight.
It doesn't make any difference what way you point it. If you point it slightly up, those peaks behind are not going to change, Gary. They're going to be in the same place.
I didn't
They're not
say they were going
necessarily
to change.
go
I'm
higher.
saying if that mountain
It
is
doesn't matter.
higher
That's what
than
you're
him,
saying. It's not
that
going
is
to
the
make any
point.
difference, Gary. No, it won't.
No, it will because it's a parallax effect. They're closer to you than the ridge is much further. The ridges much further are going to drop lower, just like in the Blackpool Tower.
Hey,
But if you
so,
get
wait.
if you move
What are the
further from the Blackpool
differences?
Tower, you can do this in an orthographic
Wait,
drawing and show it.
Jesse, can you tell us the distances of the two mountains, please?
What you're actually doing is questioning where he says he was. Is that right, Gary?
Absolutely. Not where he was, whether he was pointing up or down.
Right, but
Jesse, can you tell us the
location?
What?
The location
question
he's
is-
at and the two
you're not-
locations of interest are posted information. They have publicly available information on where they are and how big they are.
Okay, I have a
I
question.
didn't say anything about where they are. I'm saying his relationship, wherever he took this picture, to the top of that mountain, is he lower than the top of the mountain or higher? He claims he's higher. So your relationship, I don't believe he is. I believe he's lower. And those mountains in the background,
check
or the
for
ridges in the
yourself,
background,
Gary.
would look lower in the frame because they are much further. Even
Gary,
if they
you
are
can
higher.
check. You can check exactly where he was by the coordinates that he's actually given. So you can
Okay,
check
are
it
you
for
not paying
yourself.
attention, or are you just
Oh
dumb?
no!
Because
I'm paying
you
attention.
can know the
You're dumb.
coordinates, but you don't know if he
Of
was
course you
looking
do.
up or
If you know
down at that
exactly-
picture.
Fucking hell, makes no difference, Gary. We're coming back to that again.
It does
aren't we?
make a difference.
If he
It
was,
makes no
if there was a certain coordinates exactly where the peak is, where
Oh
he's
my God.
standing,
Okay,
where
you're
he's
a waste of
standing,
time, and
then
you have
you'll
no idea what you're
know
talking
whether
about.
He's looking up or down, wouldn't you, Gary? You stupid man.
No,
Jesus
not unless
Christ,
you're
are you
actually
dumb?
there, dumb.
Are you that
dumbass.
dumb? You could just look
No,
at the
actually,
coordinates
you
and you
are.
know where he was.
Nobody here knows
Oh
if
my
he's looking
God.
upward or downward
This
to
is-
that mountain peak. Nobody here knows.
Number
We
one,
know.
you should probably give a human being the benefit of the doubt that he's not lying.
Oh
Number
yeah, I've
two-
done that, and I've
number
been
two-
burned doing
number
that.
You
two-
are fucking dumb, Gary. You
coming
really
from you.
are
Number
dumb.
two. Number
Yeah,
two.
give a
I think
Globey
it's
the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, that's really
Number
smart.
two.
You
Number
can call it
two.
lying
number-
many
before
times,
you
Gary,
just
so
go
you
for
can
the
shut the
liar,
fuck up for
that means-
stars.
If your argument is somebody's lying, then that means you've already given up and you've already lost. Number
Yeah, 'cause-
two. The number
How
two
many
here
times
is
have you
the
claimed
fact
I
of
was
the matter is
lying? That means you
it's
gave up and
probably
lost.
better-
You
it's
claim I lie
probably
all the
better-
time. You
You
claim
do
I
lie
lie
all
all
the
the
time.
time.
You do. You do.
It's because you do. And
So
it's
you
more
lost the
important
argument,
that
according
he's
to
wearing
him.
socks. It's more important that he's wearing socks or sandals than if if it's pointing up or down. Why don't you just more obsessed about his footwear?
What is footwear? How do you come up with these dumb examples?
Yeah, your dumb example is if it's pointed up.
No,
or
I think
down.
that's where your mind
Doesn't
is. You're
matter.
just dumb, and you come up with dumb examples.
Yeah, this is not the way to do things.
So
Well, anyhow, let's just face it here. Nobody knows if he was looking upward or downward to this point. Nobody knows, other than him. And we don't know if we can believe him or not.
Well, let's
Yeah,
take
he
let's
could have
take the
been wearing.
information we
he could
have
been wearing
available.
rubber boots.
Maybe he
Well,
had
let's-
pink
Let's take
underwear
the
on.
information that we have available to us. We have his
Probably
location
had pink
and
underwear
its
on.
altitude. Let's try that again. Let's take the information that we have available to us. We have his altitude or his location and his altitude. We have the thing that he's looking at and its altitude for both of
Okay, which
those
one's
things.
higher?
And Jesus Christ, Gary. And we have all three of those pieces of information. We can construct how that should look from his position in two different ways, either assuming there's no curvature or assuming there is curvature. Which one do you suppose would actually match more?
So which altitude was higher, where he was or this mountain peak?
His.
Oh, his was. Oh, then he should be looking downward.
That's
Yeah,
what he's
so-
been
Oh my
saying
God,
this whole
Gary, you
time.
just read that?
Okay, so what's that
You
got
just
to do with the
figured that
mountain
out?
ridges in the back then?
But-
You
Well-
are Sherlock Holmes today.
No, they're just much further.
No
yeah, and
kidding.
the problem is that the altitudes and the distances specific to this observation don't make sense without curvature.
No, even if you're looking downward, that angle would keep going down, right? You're looking downward, the angle of his scope or whatever he's looking through would keep angling on a downward angle, which means those mountain peaks much further are going to keep dropping down.
So I'm looking down a little
Somewhere
over.
his thing is pointing at a spot somewhere way off in the distance that you can't see because it's blocked by mountains, right?
You just cut Jesse off. Bye, Jesse.
1 degree and 9 minutes and a few seconds. That's how much I'm looking down in that one. But that's irrelevant. We're lining up 3 points, which on a flat Earth, the third point should be higher than a straight line. A straight line between the first and last point should be higher than the middle point. In other words,
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. I was like before Gary spoke. Finish your point, Jesse, and then give me 30 seconds.
oh, thanks. So, yeah, Gary, we're not talking about absolute angles. We're talking about comparing 3 points in a row, and on a flat Earth, the middle point would be below the 2 endpoints. If you drew put a straight, tight string between the 2 endpoints, the middle point would be below on a flat Earth, because the heights and distances of all 3 points are known, and yet the far point is lower, way lower than it should be, and that's why I'm saying that looks just like Earth curve. Go for it, Jose.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking for the button. Beeble, you're hot micing a little bit there, man. You want to mute yourself? I appreciate that.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
you were hot micing. You were just making background noise.
I was trying to.
It might have been me.
Jesse a
No, I got a
question.
point. I got a point before you go. This is my turn. I'm just taking before I make my point. I'm telling you, you had a hot mic.
Oh yeah. You know,
RT96 for $5 super chat. Thank you, RT. I appreciate that. Gary's camera in his white banjo video was pointed downwards. Also, not scale. So it was fake. Gary Webenga, 2022. There you go, Gary.
Hey Jesse, just quick question. What were the I might have missed it when you said it. What were the distances of the 2 mountains you're looking at? Can you?
12.3 miles for the near one, and 83.6 for the far one, for the height of the ridge, which I found on Google Earth by drawing a straight line clear out there.
So my next question is for recently. So my next question is for Gary. Gary, do you think him raising and lowering his camera from that distance is going to make any kind of noticeable difference?
Hey, I got a question for Jesse. Which part of the ridge is you're talking about? Which lump on the left or the right of that center point?
Wait, Gary,
Which elevation are you talking about at which point? Because those 2 humps are higher than your crosshairs.
Gary?
Correct. But do you see the stat?
One on the left and one on the right.
Jesse, Gary came in hot, interrupted Beeble in the middle of his statement. So let's not.
Hey, I got it. I'm going to be right back because you guys are roboting.
Okay, he's not going to answer the question. Okay.
It's
Sorry,
probably not.
Jose.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
Shout out to Skoy Moils.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm always roboting.
My question was like raising your camera up or down or tilting your camera up or down from those distances, how much parallax is it going to make?
A lot in relationship to the things farther back. It's parallax.
Are you sure about that, Gary?
Yes, there's a huge difference. The one thing is much closer than the other, right? And now let me ask Jesse. He didn't answer the question. Which one of those 2 peaks? You got your center crosshair. There's a peak to the left and a peak to the right. Now, which elevation are you talking about for those ridges? Which one?
It's okay if I go, Jose, or was someone else ahead of me?
No, I'm just wondering if you pan your camera left and right, will that far away mountain move left or right as you move your camera, pan your camera left and right? That's a great question, man. Love you, John Rapp. That's good.
Yeah, if you move to the right, it would move to the left.
What was your question,
To the
Gary?
left, it would move to the right. Hey, no, I'm asking a question. There's
we'll
2 little
move,
ridges.
yeah.
There's 2 little humps there, ridge tops or whatever. One to the left of the crosshair, one to the right of the crosshair. Which elevation are you talking about for those at distance? Because those 2 things are above your crosshair.
I'm talking about
And
the
they're much
elevation.
further, and they're much further.
You can't let me finish a sentence, can you? Oh, you did.
I wasn't
Thank you.
finished yet. I was making my point.
So
So you interrupted my end of mine. Thank you. You can go.
So I'm talking about the elevation of the saddle. The saddle is the area between two peaks. Do you see the point directly behind the near, right? See where the vertical crosshair line is? I'm talking about the elevation of that saddle straight behind the peak, the near peak. Do you see that? Do you see how it's the saddle is lower?
Keep going.
Okay, that's the elevation I'm talking about, because that's the elevation that's straight in line of sight. I'm not talking about the two bumps on the sides. I'm not talking about the big bump on the side. I'm just talking about the height of that saddle right in the center.
This is too scientific for me and Gary. Too scientific. We are illiterate in understanding this, Gary and myself.
It's just a simple matter of if you've got 3 points in a row and you stretch a string tight from the one end clear to the other end, will the middle point be above or below? And this middle point should be below, except because the Earth is curved, the middle point is above that.
How can we know if this string is straight if the light might be behaving a certain way, that the light might be bending across the way as we are being told like all these years?
Well,
always ready for that question.
Yeah, I love that
Thank
one.
you, Dolphus. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm on it, man.
I've never said anything about the light.
We could say that the light is bending at 8 inches per mile squared, and that's what gives us the measurement of curved. The problem is, not only does that eradicate all the black swan evidence, because now we could just say, oh, the light's bending, at 8 inches per mile squared, and that's how we can see around the curve. The problem is when we go and do an experiment, light bends the wrong way in the atmosphere to make things look lower. Instead, it makes things look higher, which means it makes the problem all that much worse for flat Earth.
Dolphus, a point I made. What do you think?
Jesse covered it pretty well. I mean, if we want to get into specifics about how we can experimentally verify that light should bend downward and make things appear higher, I got that covered if we really want to go there.
But we are arguing about the crosshair aligned with the top of a mountain and then aligned with this point in the further away mountain. That means that we are implying that it's a straight line from the crosshair to the further mountain, going across the middle mountain. Or is the light bending? Or is the light bending along the?
Right. If we want to bring in refraction, as Jesse mentioned, that's really fun to do because things in the distance, the further away they are, should appear higher the further they go are in the distance, not lower. So it is making the case even worse for flat Earth than it already was.
You think so, Gary? Gary, you heard that explanation. You think it's worse?
I've never
or
used
better?
refraction or light bending in any of my examples. I don't even talk about it. To me, it's a waste of time because it's, whatever it is, one way or the other, it's so little it doesn't matter. What the problem is when you look at horizons, it's compression. You got limited angles over the surface. They're limited by your elevation. You have compression at center frame. It's compression, that's the difference.
Yeah, fortunately, we're not working with the horizon here. Yeah. No horizon there.
No
What?
horizon at all. So,
No horizon.
Uh-oh.
There goes half his
Oh
argument.
no, there is a horizon. His crosshairs are there. You just can't see the horizon because it's blocked by the mountains. There's
No, the
always a
horizon-
horizon, but you just
What the
can't
horizon has
see it.
nothing to do with this sighting, you idiot. He's not looking at the
none of
horizon.
this.
No, his crosshairs are pointing somewhere at a horizon somewhere.
He doesn't give a shit about the horizon, you motherfucker.
Right.
It's just 3 points in a line.
Right. The horizon.
NASA
we're
Shrill
not
is my
looking at
favorite Globie.
Right. We're not
You're
looking
my-
at the.
you're-
We're not
you're my
looking at
favorite
objects that are
Dumpa.
obscured behind. We're not looking at objects that are obscured behind the surface of the Earth, and therefore you can use your compression argument in air quotes. There's no horizon in front of anything here. All of these 3 points are all fully visible.
Just a second ago, you guys were talking about the horizon. I was referencing what you were talking about. You guys were talking about refraction. Jose asked me, what about it? I answered the question.
Right. That had nothing
you
to
guys
do
are
with the
changing
horizon.
Well,
Yeah,
you guys were
refraction-
talking about the horizon and refraction and
No, I
if it
said
lifts or
horizon-
lowers
hold on,
something,
Larry.
and he
The
asked me
horizon
to
was not
answer the
mentioned.
question.
Yeah, the horizon was not mentioned in that example that I gave at all.
Right. It's just
I just
the
said-
light in our atmosphere. That's what it does. Whether the horizon's
I-
there or not is a separate argument.
Yeah, I cited the well-known, well-measured 4 arcsecond per mile of refraction. How the hell you got horizon mixed in there, I don't know.
Gary's favorite fish is the
Because
red herring.
Because we've always been talking, whenever you guys talk about refraction, it always is in relation to the horizon. That's whenever you talk about it.
Except
No, we
today.
Well, I assume that's what you're talking about when you're mentioning refraction
Gary.
and if it allows you to see something upper, lower, or higher.
Okay, Gary, that explains. Yeah, Gary, that explains a lot about your misunderstanding. We're talking about refraction optically displacing an object in the distance. Where it is in relation to the horizon doesn't affect how much it is being affected. You know, within some tolerances. When you get very near the water, it gets very crazy. But when you get into good, clear air, yeah, things are elevated by optical refraction, not because there's a horizon nearby. It's because you're going through air.
Nah, refraction
If
isn't the
we were talking
problem.
about refraction, then when you make the statement, when we're always talking about refraction, we're always referencing the horizon. Except today. Today that wasn't brought up until you brought it up.
Jesse, you
I didn't bring up refraction.
Got it. Hold on.
The
Jesse,
horizon, you brought up the horizon.
Hold on, guys. Jesse, you're screen sharing. Like, do you want me to screen share because I got an image with refraction on the screen? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy with the image right now.
Oh, I just wanted to
Jesse,
show.
you got too many tabs open. You got too many tabs open, Jesse.
Is that
Too
why
much
my-
high IQ. Too much high IQ research going on.
I just wanted to show this to Gary, so he could see that we're talking about.
He cannot
points.
see. He cannot see, Jesse. We already tried that.
I think if he reboots his phone enough, he will.
I did reboot it, but it's everybody's roboting a little bit again. Here and there, it's not as bad as it was. I'll try to watch your stream.
Gary, if you're going to be on this, why don't you get a damn laptop and do it right so you don't interrupt?
Because I don't like to carry a laptop everywhere. I enjoy going and sit in my backyard without a laptop. where I
My
can just
Android
sit there with
phone
my
works
phone.
just well. I can watch screen shares. I can multitask on my Android, and it's a cheap one. It's like the free Android phone that they give in Metro. That's what I get, and I can
Well,
work all of
Jose,
that.
would you say that being on a phone doesn't give you an excuse not to look at diagrams?
Oh, it works beautifully, and a cheaper, the low tier Android phone works perfect.
I have a good phone,
As
but
if
I live in a
Wi-Fi
rural
doesn't
county. I
exist.
live in a rural county. It's like we don't have like city type of
Well,
service
the
like you guys have.
The connection might be an
Yeah.
issue. I give you that.
Yeah, it
Do you
also
have
shows you went
Wi-Fi,
to-
Gary?
I have Wi-Fi in my house, but if I don't sit in a specific room, I have a house that was built to withstand a nuclear bomb back when they had an air base here long ago. It's an older house. I have concrete walls. Yeah, I don't get the best reception in the house.
Then put an antenna outside.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't really need it. To me, I'm fine without it.
What if
I
you
don't
put
have to have every
a
high tech thing. I can do good enough without it, Bob.
What if you put a tiny
let's-
tin? What if you put a tiny tinfoil hat on the phone? That works.
And no,
That
I
might work.
disagree. It's not good enough.
Is it showing up,
A
Gary?
receiver. I'll share you to this to the.
Which one do I hit? There's two streams.
Jesse.
Oh, never mind. I saw your name. I just saw your
Jesse.
name.
Yeah,
There you
if
go.
you click directly on mine, Gary, then it's only 5 FPS for me, so it might actually.
Okay,
load.
I already have it up. It actually popped up. You got a diagram?
Okay, can you read the red text?
No. I can't expand
Oh.
but my phone won't let it expand
Okay,
either.
well,
Yeah, it's
can
a
you-
hard one.
Oh wait, I
Can you-
can.
Can you see the 3 or the 4 red vertical lines?
Yes, I see the 4 red vertical lines.
Okay, those represent, just ignore the one on the right, but look at the left 3. Those represent the observer on the far left, and then next to the right of that is that first dark peak that shows up really good. And then the third one is the saddle height in the distance behind the peak. See the green line?
Yeah, I see a green line.
That's a straight line from the observer to the far ridge. And you can see it goes right over the top of that middle red vertical line, right?
You're going from the left to the right, aren't you?
The observer is on the left. And
Okay,
the observer,
that's all I wanted to know.
yeah. And the observer is looking down at the third red vertical line, the one near the right, but not all the way to the right. And the green line represents what would be the line of sight on a flat Earth. And you can see that the second in vertical, the next tallest red line should be below that saddle. It should appear below that saddle. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, not really. Is this the scale? Because it doesn't look like it.
So the vertical is exactly to
Wait,
proper
wait.
scale.
I asked the question. I asked. No. Is this the? Blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. Is this to scale?
The vertical is to scale in feet, and the horizontal is to a different scale, but it's all the same scale in the horizontal. So straight lines are the same.
So it's not all this. It's not all to scale. You just said, basically.
The verticals are to scale.
But the horizontals aren't.
You can have two different scales on a drawing.
So everything's completely exaggerated. Now, if I did that, everybody would be screaming at me, right? Everybody screams at me if it's not to
You have to do
scale.
everything. You have to do everything 1-to-1 scale.
Okay,
No, he was right. It's exaggerated. It's exaggerated. That doesn't rearrange things. It just exaggerates. It just inflates the difference visually, but it doesn't rearrange their order.
Okay, remember
It's
that
okay, I
next
got
time you
one
guys are
that's-
screaming at me because you said I didn't put things to scale. Remember
Yeah,
that?
'cause you
Okay,
do
just
it
make sure you remember this.
Hey Gary, I got one. That's exactly to scale too. Here, can you still see my
Yeah,
screen?
you know what? I don't even care about your model here. I know if I go to this place sometime and I look straight across, it will not be below me if it's higher.
Okay, but look, I knew you'd complain about the different X and Y scales, so I made one
And-
that's the exact
Okay,
same
yeah,
scale,
sure it is.
both ways.
Right, we know it is. Right.
But it shows you the scale, Gary. Of course it is.
What shows scale? All I see is a green line across the screen and a red line. Oh, I see one red line now.
Right, and it's got the figures on it.
And they're too small to read.
All right. So the fun thing about complaining about the fact that the X and Y are a different scale is if you change the scale of one and not the other, lines that are straight are still straight. So
And
complaining about the fact that the two scales are different doesn't change the fact that the line should be passing through a different point than where we observe it to.
Right, but look, this is exactly to scale. Can you see the red and the green lines now, Gary?
I see red and green lines, yes.
Okay, so this represents that first near peak, and this is to exact scale in all dimensions. All dimensions, X and Y are exactly scaled exactly. So it's the same thing. You can see the line of sight, the green line of sight, still shoots right straight over the top of that near peak. And now I'm going to scroll to the right some more. I'm scrolling to the right, I'm scrolling to the right, I'm scrolling to the right. And there's, I guess we're looking at the yellow line. But anyway, and there's the second peak. So it's a straight line right from that peak. And I'm going to scroll back. I'm scrolling back. There's it going over the top of Union Peak. And I'm going to scroll back to the observer. So this is exactly to scale in all dimensions. And you can see, just like the other one, the line of sight should go straight over the...
Oh, you got up.
Oh, I lifted my thumb off the push to talk button. Yeah, so that line on a flat Earth should go straight over the top of that near peak. But you can see in reality, the top peak sticks up higher than the far saddle. Do you see how that would look like a curved Earth evidence?
No.
So how can you have something that's shorter sticking up higher?
I don't believe it is. Or from where you were at.
So you believe I'm lying about where I was? I mean, it's okay if
I
you believe
believe
that.
a lot of you guys lie, yes.
So for the sake of argument, let's just say I was where I claim to be.
Okay, you're wasting your
Then would-
time here because I don't believe your picture at all. I see the two peaks
Well,
on the
you don't
left
have
and
to
the
believe-
right. I don't know exactly which one. You say it's in the saddle, okay. What are those peaks on the left and the right? How high are they?
Like I said, that's one
coordinates-
way to continue to believe that the Earth is flat.
Well, the Earth
Yeah,
is
just,
flat.
just saying you don't believe it. It's the easiest way to give up.
Well, that's what you do. You just say you don't believe it, so you gave up. You don't believe the Earth is flat, you gave up. You know, I can say the same thing you say to me. I can say right back to you. It goes both ways.
We've actually measured it, Gary, and we've actually.
Okay, sure you have, Bob.
I never gave up anything, Gary.
Yeah,
I never
Bob,
gave
can you
up.
measure how much you adjust for
Yeah, we
Coriolis
bring
while
you-
you're driving?
Yet we bring you this every single day, and the Earth is not flat, but we gave up. Right, Gary.
Let's see. You guys have already given up on the Coriolis effect. You've given up on gravity being a force.
Yeah,
How
as a
many
matter
other
of fact,
things have
I
you given
can,
up?
Gary.
Oh, you can give a measurement and you can show me when you're adjusting for Coriolis while you're driving. Right now, look, I'm turning a little bit to the left. I'm adjusting for Coriolis right now. You can show me all that, right, Bob?
Absolutely.
Let's get back to
No, you
let's get back
can't.
to
You know you
Jesse,
can't.
please.
How about
Let's get
Blue?
back to
Blue, do you
Jesse.
agree with Bob?
Gary, let's get back to
Does
what
Blue,
Jesse
no,
was
I want to
talking
know
about,
if
please.
Blue
Let's not
agrees with
change the
Bob. I'm
subject.
pointing out that you guys
Let's
change your
change it.
stories all the time.
We're going to change the subject. Let's not change the subject. We're not talking about
No,
Coriolis
Bob
here.
addressed me, so I was addressing his
well, we're-
not
okay, well,
knowing
let's-
certain things.
Yeah, that is a technique.
Changing his
technique.
stories.
We're
Gary
dismissed,
just don't,
Gary. You can go on with the other.
yeah, Gary don't want to address the point anymore. He's lost. He just want to obfuscate to other and personal attacks and all this good stuff that he does.
Oh, and Bob never insults me or comes in attacking.
Relation to the
Happened very
topic
nice
on
to you, Gary.
related to the
He does
topic
it
that
all
we
the
were talking
time.
about, in relation to the topic that we're talking about, maybe he insults you in between. You don't have to change topics.
So, Gary, what path does the light take to start from the one end of the green line that's on the screen now and somehow be obscured by the middle red line before reaching the observer? Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
And I want to apologize
path
to
of a
the
light?
audience. I want to apologize to the audience because I am not showing everything that you're showing, Jesse. You had the same graph that I had up earlier. You had the same cross line with the mountain that you had earlier. So I'm not gonna. I just in this time of the night, I cannot look at an image at that graph. I'm just putting memes that have anything to do with the topics on the screen. Just saying, if you guys want to know what Jesse is talking about, go back, go to the Daily Boom, or go back earlier and find the photos he's talking about earlier. Go ahead.
So, Gary, let's say you're 7 feet tall. You got a buddy who's 7 feet tall. You're 100 feet apart. And then you got a little friend who's 4 feet tall, and he's standing between you. Are you going to be able to see your buddy over the top of your little friend in the middle?
No, because my eyes are not 7 feet tall. If he was 7 feet tall, my eyes would have to look up over the top
No,
of
I
his
said-
head. I'd have to have an angle over the top of his head.
No, I said if you are 7 feet and your far buddy is also 7 feet, but you got a 4-foot friend between the two of you.
What about the 4-foot friend?
Well, he's standing between the two, you and your other 7-foot friend.
Yeah, so what's that got to do with your example?
Let me draw a diagram
I'm
if you
asking
can't
you,
understand.
Could you see? Could you see your 7-foot friend over the top of your
Look,
4-foot friend?
you're missing the whole point of this whole thing. I don't believe you were where you were at, or you were at the height
Oh, he
you
has
were
to be
at.
lying.
You have
Oh,
the
he has to be lying.
location. You have the location, but how high were you actually up? I have no idea.
Wow.
Nobody
Okay,
here
so
does. We
you're-
have to trust your word for it.
Gary didn't understand your question. Reword your question. It's a good one.
No, I understood his question. A 7-foot friend and another 7-foot friend, and a 4-foot one in between.
Okay, I got a comment to read because I got a comment to read. There's 10 seconds as it loads. With a $2 super chat PayPal, with a $2 PayPal by Marble Merman. Gary, give up the flat earth and stay on your farm. You're good at picking up poop. Marble, thank you. Yes.
You know, Marvel was another one of those idiots who practically cried on your show when he said I told him to kill himself. So I don't believe shit from him. I don't listen to him at all. He's like a nobody. He claimed it on Jose's show, practically crying.
Let's not get off the topic here.
I'm just pointing out the dishonesty of guys on this show, like B-Ball, who also made claims that I said certain things which I never said. So B-Ball's a liar, Merman's a liar, Bob's a liar.
We're all liars. Yep.
Yeah,
we have an expression. We have an expression.
Hold
here
on, no, I need to say this. No, I need a few seconds, please. I hope nobody interrupt me. Bob the Science Guy is a liar. Jesse Gordon is a liar. Blue Marble Science is a liar. Bob G3723 is a liar. Bro Alem is a liar. Chike is a liar. Discord user is a liar. Doofus Manfred is a liar. Dr. Bro is a liar. Earth is Life is a liar. Eugenus is a liar. Left Bro Lane is a liar. Mel Bro is a liar. Malvern Merman 90 is a liar. The other Merm is a liar. Flip Flop is a liar. Jose is a liar. Gary Webenga is the most honest person. Gary Webenga is the only honest person in this panel that never lies. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Yeah, we have an
That's why I
expression.
want to.
Let me tell you this expression we have here in Spain. It's the thief believes that everyone else suffers his same condition.
Well, then you've called me a liar many times, which means you just turned that phrase on yourself. Thank you.
No, not everyone, Gary. Not everyone.
I've had everybody in here do that same thing to me.
And
So,
everybody
yes, you just turned your own phrase on yourself. Thank you.
And
Gary, I have never
everybody,
once called you a liar. I say you're stupid. But you're not a liar.
and I forgot to say, everybody in the YouTube chat box and the people that will watch the show afterwards, everybody is lying unless your name is Gary Webenga. He's the only one not lying. Thank you.
So can I?
How do I change my name?
Gary, do you think that all the images that you haven't taken yourself are dishonest and you can't trust the locations or any information? Or is it just the ones that go against Flat Earth that you have a problem with?
You roboted the first part. I was going to stop you and tell you were roboting, but somebody muted me.
So is it, do you accept photos, only those that affirm Flat Earth to you, and those that go against it, you say, nah, it's just lies?
I'm sorry. I still don't understand what you're saying.
You cut out, Gary.
No, I didn't understand what he said. I said that. Could somebody ask the question for him? I couldn't understand him.
Sure, I'll ask you. I think if I understood it, something about photos you've taken. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, sorry, my headphones died. So yeah, I'm just asking. Like you said that you can't trust you can't trust the picture because it would show that the Earth isn't flat. So do you only accept the photos that affirm your bias, like the Black Swan? Like, do you accept that photo?
What? Hold on. Say that first part again. You said I said something?
Yeah, you said that you can't trust this, the location where this picture was taken from.
No, I can't trust him that he was at the actual elevation he said, or that peak was at the elevation. Especially what elevation he himself was at. It gives his location, but it doesn't actually give his elevation.
Sure, but what's the reason for you not accepting that?
Because a lot of you guys lie about a lot of things.
So in other words, somebody lied to us, so you don't trust me.
That's a genetic fallacy.
Well, no, I know at least 2 people on here who I just addressed who literally lied on Jose's show.
But Gary,
about
do you
me
accept
saying I said something which I never said.
But Gary, do you accept the info on the Black Swan picture? Do you accept that information?
Actually, on the Black Swan, no, I don't
Mike.
accept it. I don't believe on the Black Swan that he was as low to the water as he claimed. That's
Bibo,
why I
hot
don't
mic.
really use the Black Swan.
All right, I need to. I server muted Bibo. I think you're able to unmute, so on server mute yourself. I got a question. This came via a $2 super chat by John Rapp. John Rapp makes a statement. I'm the handsomest here. Am I a liar, Jose? You're asking me, John Rapp? It doesn't matter if I answer you yes or no. I am a liar. How am I going to tell if you are the most handsome person here? Gary Waibenga, is John Rapp the handsomest here?
That's for him to know, not me. I could care
Yeah,
less.
we need an answer for the honest person, the only non-liar in the show.
Well, I don't know what he looks like, so I can't answer you.
You must answer. Is he the handsomest here?
Okay, I'm not going to answer the question because I don't see him.
Well,
It's
John
a
Rapp,
stupid question.
you're going to be left just not knowing for the rest of your life until Gary decides to answer the question, because there's nobody with truth here. Sorry.
So could I address Gary's claim of me not telling the truth?
Why would you do that, man?
Yeah.
Why even acknowledge it?
Really?
Well, because I have some questions. Yeah. So it sounds like, Gary, that you're basically saying that if I was in fact where I claim to have been, and those various peaks are at the heights and distances that I claim, that this would in fact be a reasonable evidence for a curved Earth. Is that correct?
No.
So wait a second. You just said you disregarded it because you didn't think I was where I said I was, but now you're saying that even if I was where I said I was, you would still disregard it?
Yeah, I don't think there's any evidence there whatsoever of curvature of the Earth. No.
So back to your let's say you're 7 feet and you got a 7 foot
Okay,
frame.
let's stop at that when we already went past that.
Well, it's the
That's
same thing.
ridiculous.
It's the
Okay,
same
well,
thing.
I'll just go on mute. I'm not going to answer your question about a 7 foot man and a 4 foot man in between another 7
You
foot man.
actually never answered.
And I wasn't going to either.
I think you're scared of the truth, Gary.
I'm not scared of the truth. I know there's no curve because I know what happens at horizons. I know that boats don't disappear bottom first because of curvature because I've showed it. I've showed that they don't.
He's a
numerous
pretender.
times, and I use clips from Globies, including Wolfie.
Hey, Gary, right now I'm streaming 5 different radio stations. Why can't I see 4 of them?
What's that got to do with anything, Bob?
Curvature, it's demonstrating the curve of the Earth.
No, it works just the same like eyes. It's got angles. When the angles become narrow in the distance, the radio works the same way. It has to have a higher elevation, just like your eyes do. It all works that way.
Yet I
Sure
can,
it does.
I can see signals from
So
it.
if you go higher, you can pick up more signals, right?
No, I'm seeing signals from 2 of the radio stations right now bouncing off the trails of meteors.
Okay, so what's that got to do with anything? Bouncing off the trails of meteors. Yeah, okay, that's a new one. Okay, Bob.
Yeah, they're bouncing over the curve of the Earth.
Okay, Bob.
I just want to know where those 4 radio stations are, man. How come I
Okay,
can't?
if that makes you feel better and you think you're bouncing that off some curve of the Earth, so be it.
You going to be around for the moon bounce, Gary? What if when he does his moon bounce?
The what?
The moon bounce. He's going to bounce
what?
radio waves. The moon bounce. Radio waves
You're
off the moon.
roboting. All right, my phone is
Listen,
picking up
I don't
roboting.
I don't understand, Gary. Why do
And
you
whoever
even
else is talking is roboting.
Why do you even waste your time here, Gary? The Earth is
Here, I'm
already
gonna hang up
flat.
a second and come back.
Why not just go
I
and
can't
hang out over
understand
in
a word.
Oakland? Well, how come you don't ever go over to Geo, where all the flat earthers are? Why do you only come here?
I mean, he's welcome here, but
he's
I don't
welcome.
know. You should do a little better, to attempting to argue the points, to talk about the.
Yeah, we
but,
like
like,
Kevin.
to him, what's the point? Everything has to be fake or everyone has to be lying. That's not an argument.
Well, you
That's
did
not
lie
just
about
that.
me, so we know that already, B-Ball. Nothing from you is trustworthy at this point.
Again, that's a claim.
No, it's not a claim. You
Yeah, it
said
is a
something
claim.
that you said I said, which I never said. You've never been able to show that I said what you said I said. You lied.
It was
You're
aired
not a
already.
trustworthy person, B-Ball. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not.
Do we have to go over this again where I clearly said, and you can go back and listen to, I said, Gary thinks. Gary thinks.
No, you said Gary said. But either way is a lie, right? Even if I said Gary thinks, or you said Gary thinks, it's still a lie, right? You made a claim, you made a lie. You're not a trustworthy person, B-Ball, no matter what you try to claim.
Gary thinks is not saying Gary said. There's a difference.
No, when you say Gary thinks, you're saying that's what I think. You lied, B-Ball. You're not an honest person.
Right. Okay. Name
No, you
one.
did. You lied.
You claimed I lied. Okay. And again,
no, I'm not claiming you lied. You did lie. You're a liar. Sorry, you're a liar. You're not trustworthy. I would trust Jose before I trust you any day of the week. I don't trust Jose.
Of course not. Of course not. So why do you come here if you don't? What's the point?
To try to show you the error of your ways.
Maybe you need to provide some evidence that's better than the evidence we provide.
I have a lot of evidence on my videos demonstrating exactly what I'm saying.
You come here and you make shit up. You clearly said it. You make things up.
Why don't you
Oh, now you just lied again. When did I say I make things up?
Oh my God!
See, this is what I'm saying, B-Ball. You are a liar. You're a liar. You just lied to everybody again just now.
You've clearly said before that you said everything that you think of is made up by you.
Yeah, you admitted
No,
to me.
You just said I make things up, which is completely different than I provide examples. That's not even remotely the same.
You admitted that you ad hoc to me.
I did not admit I ad hoc.
Yeah, you said you used the word ad hoc. Or we used it, and you agreed to it. You agreed to it. That was like
okay, whatever. Yeah, there we go. More liars.
Why don't we have show a video?
All right. Why don't we read a super chat?
I got a whole bunch of videos.
Why don't we read a super chat? We got cows and a cowbell going on. Shout out to more cowbells. We need Gotti. We got this. Charlie Wells says for $2, Gotti is a fallen angel. Thank you, Charlie Welsh. Couldn't say it any better. So peaceful. We all take Gotti very, very seriously. Thank you.
So why don't we watch one of Gary's videos and talk about it? What's your best video, Gary? I mean, it's only fair. We presented evidence. Now, give us your best shot. Maybe I'll learn something. I don't know about the others, but I'm interested in learning.
Here, I'll go get one and I'll put it in a Daily Boom.
Oh shit! I misread that. Damn it! I repeat the super chat, dude. I was so peaceful when I read the super chat, but it doesn't say that Gotti is a fallen angel. Gotti is a fallen angle. Gotti is, I repeat, a fallen angle. Thank you very much, Charlie Wells. That makes a little more. Thank you very much.
Pick your best one, Gary. Go.
Yeah.
Real quick, while there's a lull while he's doing that.
Show him the rubber bands, Gary. Or the one about Polaris.
While there's a lull, real quick, the insinuation earlier was that even if Jesse was correct on all of his information given, that the photographs still wouldn't be evidence of curvature. Just keep that in mind. That's out there.
More cowbell. We got another cowbell. We got another cowbell by Kuso for 199 super chat. Kuso, thank you very much, man. Gary lies every time he claims the earth is flat. Thank you, Kuso. Kuso never lies. I have never heard Kuso saying a lie. He's Puerto Rican like me.
Yeah, Doofus, that's a good point. I mean, that just shows dishonesty right there. Intellectual dishonesty.
Yeah, he made a claim and didn't back it up.
Which claim was that?
That even
Which
if
claim
he
was
wasn't lying, even if he was telling the truth about his location, it still doesn't show curvature. That's that claim.
But it
I'm
does.
there was no lie about that. So anyhow, I posted in the Daily Boom, uncensored. If you guys want to play the video, it's up to you.
I got a question before I play this video. Does this video have anything to do with that area while the camera is not zooming in versus where it's zooming? Are we looking at that period of time as the camera zoom in? Oh, then
Yep,
I'm
it's
not
the
gonna
one
play
where
that.
you have the
That has
turbines
nothing
and the
to do.
ship.
That has nothing to do with the arguments we're having.
No, he wanted to play my best video and see what he's looking at. That's what he asked. He didn't specify on any subject.
Yeah, he ran away from my evidence and absolutely refused to
Well, here
discuss
I got evidence that shows there's no curve like you claim.
So I asked him to present his best evidence since he didn't like mine, and we could talk about it maybe.
Okay.
Where's
Play the
evidence
video.
for no curvature in this video? I mean, can you see for thousands of miles on the surface? On this
No,
video?
you would have everything foreshortened and you got atmosphere besides. You can't see
curvature,
forever.
Yeah, so there's curvature.
No, it's not curvature that you're going to see in this video. You're going to watch why the bottoms become unresolvable before the tops. Has nothing to do with curvature. They were well beyond what supposedly is supposed to be your hump of water.
I like the Gary video where he shows a working flat Earth model. That's the one I like.
That'll
wait,
come
that
eventually.
Never. Eventually, never. Eventually, hell will freeze over.
All you guys did was turn a circle flat Earth into a ball. The math kind of works. The angles kind of work. You made they made an imitation version that imitates reality, but doesn't actually isn't actual reality.
When you make a flat Earth model where at the equinox the sun rises due east to everyone on Earth, then I think
it doesn't rise for everybody at 90 and set at 270 for everybody on the same day. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 85 to 95, sure, yeah. Do that on your flat
Okay,
Earth
so it doesn't rise and set at the same point for everybody on the same day, right? You know that, right?
Gary?
It does actually, because the example that you brought up was on the 18th instead of the 22nd. You said on the 18th it was at 90 degrees, which is great. But I bet you on the 22nd it was also 90 degrees.
Yeah.
It was the 90 degrees on the 22nd for those in Sydney.
Right. We were talking about your location because you chose one in California.
Yes, my location happened 3 days earlier. Yeah.
Right. It was at 90 degrees on the 18th. Yeah. But I bet you if you had looked on the 22nd, it would also say 90 degrees.
No. If you go back and look at time and date, no, it doesn't. Mine had already gone past it before it happened for Wolfie over there in Australia.
What was the angle of the direction?
Oh, after that, it goes down to like it would have been probably 89 when it was 90 for him, but for Wolfie.
Okay. Let's say that. Make a flat Earth model where the sun in Australia rises at 90 degrees, just due east. And then for you too, it's just one degree away from due east.
Yes, because mine happened a couple days earlier. It's not the same day is the point. You're missing the point. It doesn't happen for everybody on the same day.
Hold on. In Australia, when Wolfie had it from 90, what was the date?
I believe his was on the 22nd.
Okay. What was the direction for you in 22nd?
It would have been about 89 and set at 271.
Okay, so 1 degree difference. Sure, make a flat Earth model that works with those.
Well, it would in the spiraling one, like I claim, that the sun is circling in a spiraling manner, and they're elliptical orbits around over the flat Earth, over the circle. They're elliptical, so that would change it on each horizon slightly each day.
Keep
No,
in
but at
mind
the
that
equator.
the sunset on the keep in mind the sunset on the 21st for Gary is sunrise on the 22nd for Wolfie. Actually, the sunrise for Wolfie occurs before Gary's sunset.
No, no, no. Mine happened on the 18th.
Also, oh god.
We'll check the 21st.
So is Wolfie
That would
not
be his
lying?
21st, which he still didn't have yet, right?
No,
So
you're,
I thought-
actually,
you're
his is only,
on the 21st.
no, it would
is
be the
his 22nd.
19th there. On my
I thought people
18th, it's
lied.
his 19th. He's a day
Right.
ahead.
21st
So on
we
my
can-
18th,
22nd.
it
So we
happened
can
for me.
trust-
On his 19th, it still hadn't happened. It didn't happen on his 20th. It happened on his 21st or 22nd. I can't remember. It was like 2 or 3 days later.
So we
I
know
believe it was
that
2 days. I can't remember.
So those are true facts of Wolfie's videos. Then there is certain truth, or is all lies. If he's a liar, he's a liar.
Has Wolfie been? You notice Wolfie hasn't had his contest for the last few years after it got pointed out by a few people. Remember, you had a contest every year for everybody to put a video showing 90 and 270 on the same day. That quickly changed after a few people pointed out it didn't, and he never held that contest again.
So you said that the sun is in your model, it's spiraling over the Earth, but why does it take a straight path at the equator at equinox?
I'm sorry, what?
That the sun moves on a straight path over the equator at equinox, and you see it for 12 hours.
It doesn't move on a straight path. It does
It
not
does.
move on a
It
straight
does,
path.
too.
No.
It
Yeah,
does
it does
too.
move
Because
straight
no,
down.
no, because this is what will happen. This is what will happen. On the one day, it'll be like 90 in the east and still at like 269 in the west. And then the next day, it'll be 90 and 270. And then the next day, it'll be, huh?
At
It
the
changes a
equator.
little bit each day on each horizon. They're not always perfect the same because it's a slightly elliptical orbit. And of course, the globy mathematicians of old imitated that by saying
a
that the
spiral.
Earth had
It's
an
a
elliptical
straight
orbit
path.
around the sun.
But it's a
That's how
straight
they
path,
imitated
though.
that.
All right, guys. I
No,
need.
it isn't a
I need
straight
minute.
path.
The sun will
Yeah.
set perfectly perpendicular to the horizon on certain days.
I need a
It's
solid.
actually
No,
gonna
it
happen
just
here.
goes forward. It's not dropping straight down like you claim.
Yes, it
I know
is
you guys
dropping
heard me.
straight down.
It's
and
just moving forward and
I'll
away.
see if I can-
Your
I'll
pictures
see if I
don't
can film
demonstrate
it.
reality because they're
I know you
2D
guys heard me.
versus
actually
your
try and
3D
film it.
vision.
I know
I'm
you
actually
guys
gonna try
heard me.
and film it.
I know you heard me. I know you heard me. I need a solid
Yeah, I
minute.
did.
I need a solid minute in here to read a comment by Marble Mermaid. This sound important because it's a long comment with a PayPal donation. Thank you, Marble. Appreciate your support, man. Marble Merman, and I quote, Gary, this is the final time before I am done with. I'm going to try to fix, there's going to be probably some missing punctuation. Gary, this is the final time before I am done with the trying to offer a peace treaty. I'm sorry, I got the wrong Gary who say I should kill myself. It was on a different server and I'm trying to offer an apology, but you seem to want to hold it against. When someone like me who can admit he can be wrong, sorry, and you will not forgive the person, you are nothing but evil, just like Flat Earth. I am sorry, I got the wrong Gary. My mistake. Let it go. P.S. My English skills sucks, but at least I can admit my fault, unlike all Flat Earth. I made my peace. Love you, Jose Marble. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I hope you stick around. You know, sounded like a I'm done in here. Fuck that. I hope you stick around, and he's trying to make Gary. If he made a mistake, he's apologizing. Let's try not to hold this grudge forever.
Okay, my point is, I can totally forgive him. I don't care anymore. I really don't care. I just pointed out, if I hadn't actually been listening to the show and came on to correct it, that would have been the thing going out there that Gary Wybinga told somebody to kill himself. It would have never left. I would have had people telling me, you told so-and-so that he told you to kill, you told him to kill himself.
Yeah,
And
but,
it's like,
but can we maybe
he made it up.
Hold on, guys. Go on. So, but maybe after this, can we just move on and just leave this behind and try to move on? Marble, you got any comments to do before we clear? Marble. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying something. Go ahead, man. Marble. If not, Gary.
No, I was
Marble,
on
go
the.
ahead.
I was on the.
Hey, Gary.
I'll tell you one thing. He's got more guts than B-Ball, who still won't admit he lied.
So
I
does
give him
the
credit
sun,
for that. Let me tell you, I give him a lot of credit for that compared to B-Ball.
I didn't lie.
so does
You
does
did.
the sun move a straight line at the equinox on the equator or not?
No, the sun never moves a perfectly straight line.
Yes, it does.
No, it's always going to be spiraling. Even in your world, it has to. That's why you see a half a degree change at a time. The one, it'll change a half a degree on the one, on the other it stays the same as the previous day. Then the next day it changes on the other one, they're equal again. Then it changes a half a degree on the
Gary,
other
I'm gonna
side.
mute you.
It's an
Gary, I'm gonna mute
elliptical
you if you don't be
spiral.
quiet. Gary, go ahead, Chike.
Yeah, Gary. How straight should it be if it deviates by, I don't know, centimeters during the whole day? If you say it's not a straight line.
Dude, I'm
Not a
sorry,
straight
but hold
line,
on.
no.
Oh, hey, there was a cow going and cowbell as you asked your question, Chike. YouTube didn't hear that, bro. Sorry. Try again because I want the audience to hear it.
I want to know what tolerance. It's not a perfect straight line. There's no perfect straight lines, but how straight should it be? If it was, let's say you had a pole that is a 10-inch, 5-inch wide, and you watched the end of the shadow during the day. You mark the spots of the shadow, and at the end of the day, if you put a rope from the first one to the last one, they all will be within this 5-inch. That's not straight.
It's not a straight line, Chike. It can't even
What do
be
you
in your
mean, no
model.
straight? I don't know. It would be a very long line.
I don't know. In your
All
world, I don't
within
know,
the
because
5
straight in
inch.
your world is crooked. Straight in
what
your
do you-
world is bent.
That's straight, Gary. That's not.
Now you're trying to tell me that straight is not bent.
No.
But in everything else in your
that-
world, the straight is crooked or
Oh,
bent.
for fuck's
There's
sake,
no such
Gary.
thing in
No,
your world
I'm
as a
telling
straight
you it's
line.
a straight line. It's a straight line. It's not an arc. On your flat Earth, it needs to be an arc. It's a straight line.
Yes, it does.
Why would
If
it
I
need to
can-
be an arc? It actually would be,
Because
but it's very
the
small.
sun is circling around the Earth, and you're in one spot. That's why.
You
That's
see
simple.
12 hours of
Try
the
it.
sun. So
Try
it's
it.
half of a circle. So it should be a semicircle.
It will be an arc.
Right. Just to make it a little bit more clear, this is from the equator on the equinox. You're looking at the sun as it passes from one horizon to the other horizon. It's a straight line from your perspective. And I can actually post something real quick. That I had to model this out.
I was trying
for
to
somebody
find a
else.
video.
Yeah, I had modeled it out with actual real world elements. I put my phone on a rotating platform and had a sun source in the distance at the same altitude as the rotating camera. And that's what it does, is it traces a straight line.
Big shout out to Anamorphic Mind with a $5 super chat. Jose, you forgot it's opposite day. So when Gary says someone is lying, he actually means they are telling the truth. Thank you, Anamorphic Mind, for supporting. Appreciate it.
B-Ball was telling the truth.
Well, there you go. There you go. Good job.
It's opposite day, remember?
All right.
So how can that be on?
I bet you that's going to get clipped at some point.
So Gary, how can that be at your flat Earth? Sunrise at the east, set at the west.
And keep in
And it's
mind
not a
that in
straight
our
line.
model,
It
it's a
can't
straight
even
line.
be in your model. It has to be gradually changing.
I knew he was going to
And
do that.
even in your model, our
Yes,
Earth
it
is
is.
rotating and tilted and
it
traveling
is.
in an elliptical
Fucking-
circle around the
Hold
sun.
on.
A fucking half a degree.
It
Right, this
cannot
is
run
what
a
I'm gonna
straight
do.
line. It cannot run a perfectly
All right,
straight line.
listen. Stop talking, Gary. Stop talking, Gary.
Okay,
This is what I'm gonna do.
B-Ball.
I'm gonna film the sun, right? Because if anyone knows what Lahaina noon is here It's when the sun is directly overhead and nothing casts shadows. So the sun will be directly overhead here in Hawaii, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film the sunset, and we're going to see if it's going to be a straight line that goes straight down, nearly perpendicular to the horizon.
It's going to actually be slightly tilted. Just going to tell you
Okay,
that right now.
don't zoom in.
'cause you're
Just
not on
use
the
your
equator.
regular lens without zooming in.
Yeah, but on Lahaina noon.
Yeah, I understand that,
Okay.
but it's
And you're gonna trace it from there to the.
Say, and then I've got to go. Every time you ask Gary about his model, he says, "Well, on your model, well, on your model." So what he needs to do is he needs to stop straw manning the globe model and start steel manning his own.
I gradually am. I keep telling you it's a circle flat Earth, and you guys hijack the math and or change the math into a curve when
Yeah,
it's
and you
just
can't
a
show us how the
circle.
math, and you can't show us how the math is
I've
incorrect.
told you how it works. I've already told you how it works.
That's
Go
what
ahead,
nobody's
Doofus.
saying.
Take a
That's
flip.
why it was so good at imitating, because they turned the circle into a ball.
Yeah, and you can't tell us why the math is incorrect because you don't do math. So go ahead, Doofus. You were
No,
going to say?
I don't have to, but I can tell you on a circling Earth with an elliptical orbit over that flat Earth, you're going to have when the sun
Gary.
travels from
I'm gonna mute you,
Capricorn to
Gary.
Cancer, it's going to right. Okay, you're
All
going to
right.
mute me. Threats. If you mute me,
Because
I will
Doofus
hang
wanted to
up
say
and we're done
something.
for the night.
Doofus wanted
You're
to
such
say
an
something.
ass.
Go ahead, go ahead,
You're
Doofus.
like a little boss.
Gary.
You got a little authority, so you want to mute people.
Why don't you give him a one-on-one with me before you mute him?
No, it's just bullshit when he threatens to mute people.
Because
He's like
you
a
won't
little
stop talking.
peon who's
Because you won't stop
somebody
talking.
gave him a button
You
that he
can't have
can
a
push.
conversation. That's why, Gary. You can't have a conversation.
Oh
if
no,
you
we
stop
can't have.
talking.
We can, but when
This
we
is
got an
not your
asshole
show.
who thinks
This is not the Gary
he's got
show.
some
This
power,
is not the
he's on a
Gary
power
show.
trip.
Okay, we're all equal
Yeah, you know
here,
what?
right? We all should have equal
Bebo,
time to talk. So go ahead,
Bebo, make
Doofus.
sure you
want to
use
say something?
a regular camera without zoom when you film that.
Go ahead, Doofus.
Right. So when he says our model doesn't even say it would end up in a straight line on the equinox, I actually did that. The video I posted not long ago, where the camera is on a rotating platform and the light is parallel with, or is coplanar with the rotation axis, or perpendicular to the rotation axis. Goodness gracious, my terms. And it comes up as a straight line in the video, which is what our model says it should do. And that's when Gary says it in our model, it wouldn't be a straight line. That's actually incorrect.
And you know what's funny? Even P Brain made a video showing that it's a straight line.
It cannot be a straight line, not even in your model. It has to be
So
gradually shifting.
You disagree with P Brain?
Yeah, on some things I do, yes.
Okay.
And the practical
well.
demonstration that I did with
I don't agree with all those guys on everything,
physical-
and they don't agree with me on everything.
Right, and
we can have our
practical
independent ideas,
demonstration-
but I will listen to those guys. I listen to you guys.
Right, and the practical demonstration where I actually put the camera on a rotating platform and used a light source,
Okay.
real world
Your light
objects.
source isn't the
even-
sun. It's
I don't
not
think he was
real.
finished.
I'm sorry,
Oh my
it doesn't. You
goodness, I
can't
didn't even
create
get
the
to
same
finish it,
scenario
Gary.
in your little.
Gary. All right. So when I use these real world objects and I put the rotating observer
There you go.
in line with that light source and show in my video, it's less than a minute long, that video, that this thing does happen and our model says it should, then what?
Well, since he
He gone.
can't, it was devastating. I think he left.
I think he rage quit.
So I think someone already made a video that they were actually on the equator and they filmed the sun as it was setting and it was a perfectly straight line going straight down. I think it was
Effie
Pure
Dogma. No,
The next
Effie
time-
Dogma.
There we go.
The next time that Gary rejoins, he will have to be server unmuted because he was server muted when he left. He had to be muted in order for Doofus to be heard. You know, it was almost impossible to hear what he was saying. Too much talking over people. Big shout out to Mr. Victory's Radio super chat $5. Sure, Gary. They hijacked the mat to make it a ball. Come on, Gary. That's just stupid.
He's been listening to Nathan Oakley.
Yeah, if anybody actually wants to check out that video, it's less than a minute long and it's just got me talking real quiet because I'm not trying to wake up the family because I was late recording it.
I should
Awesome. Yeah, it's just there's two demonstrations. One where the light source is not in a plane perpendicular with the rotation axis, and one where the light source is in a plane perpendicular with the rotation axis. And that makes a big difference. The one done incorrectly is curved, and the one that's done incorrectly is, or the one that's done incorrectly is curved, and the one that's done correctly is straight.
Yeah, I have to adjust the notification sound. We got cows and cowbell because I enjoy those sounds. But I think Blue has a good point. Maybe every time that goes off, Gary might just get too excited and lose track on the conversation. You know, every time we hear the cowbell shit going on.
No, he gets excited.
I was gonna say something else, but I'll leave it as excited.
That's safe.
Gotta come over so I can serve it on you, man. We can have a conversation. You don't have to talk over people. That.
Oh, and Stellarium and Celestia both represent our model fairly well. I would say very, very well, since they do match observations we make in reality. Both of those are built on the globe model, and if you put yourself on the equator on the equinox and watch the sun rise and the sun set, from that perspective, as you follow the sun, it appears to take a straight path. So when he says it doesn't make a straight line in our model, that's actually incorrect. And then he comes back immediately and says, no, it doesn't in your model. I guess I can say as much that he's incorrect. I guess I don't have to necessarily call him a liar, because maybe he's got this misconception of how our model actually works. But I could just continue to say that he's incorrect rather than a liar.
Look at how long it took him to figure out we weren't talking about the levelness of my scope, but the alignment of the three peaks.
Right. Yeah, and you don't even need the crosshairs. If you've got your observer making the observation and the other two peaks, then you already have 3 points.
But you know, if the peak wasn't centered, he would say, well, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. He does actually have an argument where the center of frame is important, even though it isn't really.
What's the name of that? Infinitum absurdum or something?
I don't know.
If a measurement isn't accurate to 100 million decimal places, then it's no use.
Ad absurdum infinitum. I don't know. I don't know actual Latin, so.
So he did give a video, which he presumably is his best evidence for flat Earth, because that's what I asked him for anyway. It's not even his video. He wasn't even there. It was a John D video. So how do we know that the camera was where Gary says that John D says that the camera was? And how do we know? See, he really set a standard that he can't step up to.
Right. Well, it confirms his bias, so it's okay.
I found that video on FE Dogma where the sun is going literally straight down.
Yeah, depending on your latitude. Yeah, depending on your latitude, it will change the direction.
Yeah, so it wouldn't go perfectly straight down.
Right.
It would be slightly angled.
When you get Lahaina noon, the sun's not in a plane parallel with the equator, and it's not going to follow a completely straight path. It'll be pretty close, but it will still be arcing.
Would it be so would it be if it's not directly above, would it be like what 20? So it'd be like 22 degrees off of 90.
Well, keep in mind the time at which you get that sun is obviously not the equinox, and During the equinox, the sun rises to the east and sets in the west directly. So if it's more of the northern hemisphere summer, then what you're going to end up with is the sun is rising south of east and setting south of west. Right? Have I got that backwards?
Yeah.
No, it's going to rise north of east and set north of west. It's going to do so more so than the amount that it gets to the overhead position. Yeah, so it's going to curve a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's after the 15th? No. Yeah, I think it's after the 15th is when you can start seeing Lahaina noon, where you see things with no shadows. Try and get some pictures of that.
Well, we change about degree every day. I guess at equinox it would be a degree because that's where we speeding up a bit. So it can't be perfect straight, but it will be straight enough.
Here's that video from Effie Dogma.
Hi guys, it's a little bit over 9. It's 9, almost 9:30 p.m. for here. I gotta check on the dogs again. It's a little too late to keep doing the live stream. Let's get out of here. Let's do a round of final thoughts. Let me turn my camera on. It's dark. I started the show. It was daytime when I started, even though it was late, but still. It was a good, fun, entertaining show. Very, very grainy. The camera view over here, but still we can still see the the frogs refraction. We can see this. What you see is refraction all over the place. Final thoughts. Let's get out of here. Thank you everybody that watched the show on YouTube land. Thank you everybody that was here on Discord. Shout out to Carlos. He was here earlier. It was good to hear from him. He hasn't been here a while. Glad he found the channel again. Remember everybody, check on the links on the description box. On the uploaded videos on my channel, there's a super thanks with a heart. If you guys don't wanna support via PayPal for whatever reason, you can support me using the super thanks when the videos are uploaded on YouTube. And big shout out, thank you. The super chats, PayPal today support. Big thank you for 34 thumbs up, 40 people watching most of the time. I think there was 50 plus earlier, even though a light show, and it was a fun, entertaining. Gary, join so I can unmute you and you can give your final thoughts. Let's go alphabetical order. I'm gonna go, but who say me, the person who needs to get out of here first, and you'll give your final thoughts first. If not, we'll go down alphabetical order. You guys can stay as long as you want over here on the Discord. It's open for everybody. Bob, 3723, you got some final thoughts or just listening? I'll skip your name if you don't speak within a few seconds. Bro Alim, final thoughts?
Hey, good show. Yesterday was much more of a dumpster fire. And to be honest, I did pour some fuel on that dumpster fire yesterday. But yeah, today was even more fun. Good show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Final thoughts by is the earth is not flat. And you guys see my name. My new name is say. Thank you very much. Chaik, final thoughts.
I love shit shows. But Gary needs to learn to control himself a bit and have a conversation and not just go on and on about whatever he's going on about. Good show. Thank you.
Thank you. Discord user, you got your mic set up? No? Okay. Doofus Manfred, final thoughts.
It seems to be same day, different stuff. I mean, different day, same stuff. We had the wonderful observation Jesse brought forward, which is essentially doing pretty much the same thing as the Blackpool observation was doing, showing us that there's no way to make sense of what we're seeing, assuming that the Earth is flat. So the only way to go from there is to just call everybody a liar. That's not really conducive to proper conversation. I mean, come on, man.
Thank you, Doofus. And earlier, as the video was playing that Doofus Manfred created, I put a link on the YouTube chat box for him, so people should go check it out. Also, Robert Gillies. Robert Gillies, I put a link to one of your videos earlier up in the chat box. If you guys watch this recorded, check on the live replay and check on the links that I posted there. Robert Gillies doesn't know what Discord button does. What? Little by little, we'll get you all set up, Robert. We'll get you all set up in the next few days, man. Hopefully, you can jump in and talk to us. The Earth is live. Final thoughts.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, same thing, different day. Gary, now everybody's a liar. Everyone is dishonest. I mean, if you notice how anytime we speak amongst each other, you know, if I cut someone off, I'll say sorry, my bad, and then I'll allow the other person to speak. Gary's a little bit different. He'll talk, and then when you try and respond, he'll ask another question, kind of similar to what Flat Earth Data does. They're pretty much similar. So, I mean, if you have to get muted, maybe that says something about who you are. You know, maybe dial it back a little bit. We can have more productive conversations. That's all. Good show, Jose.
Thank you very much. Very much. Appreciate it. Whole name. Final thoughts.
Hey, Jose. You know what? I think they are so contrarian that we should all adopt the flat Earth position, so they'll have to disagree with us and say the Earth is a globe. There you go. Flat Earth's over.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Gary Webenga posted a long, gigantic final thoughts on the YouTube. If he typed that in real time, that is very skillful. I don't know, overlooking or what he typed. This probably a copy paste, like the good old times. Shout out to Gary. Thank you for being here earlier. Here's Janus. Sorry, what do you think? Earth is live.
No, I was just gonna say, does somebody want to read what Gary posted? Maybe that's his final thoughts.
Here's Janus. Are you up for reading what Gary posted?
I'm not. I can just, if I may, just give my final thoughts.
Yes, go for it.
Thank you. A couple of things. I think what's happening is the dogpiling on Gary is because of his attitude, and I think everyone just wants a piece of him. That's what it felt like, and I don't blame anyone for wanting that. But I had after the chat yesterday, it was a dumpster fire, and you probably heard Jin and I just going at it. But I don't know if anyone else has been here, but Jin and I actually found we had several things in common. And I chatted with him last night after the show here until my phone went to 1% because we had so many different things, interesting things, bizarre things in common. And so I think possibly what's happened is we just lose track of the fact that Gary Webenga is a human being, and we just want to just dogpile on him and just, you know, because he's selling everyone's a liar. Of course, that's insulting. I get that. But I think what you don't want to do, and I've done this, what we don't want to do is just lose our humanity and lose who we are, you know. Seeing the people, like what Professor Dave does. He considers people that are liars, and then he doesn't have to be polite to them and doesn't owe them any politeness. And I don't think that ends well. I don't think that goes to a good place. So that's my final thought. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hughes. John Rapp has some final thoughts. Gary Kent scale, math, angle, parallax, perspective, optics, horizon, sunrise, sunset, telescope, crosshair, polite conversation, but he can milk a bull like a demon. Shout out to John Rapp. Very well said. We have now Jesse Gordon. Final thoughts.
Hey, great show, Jose. And I'd like to say I agree with what he was saying. And I do like it when we can get more into looking at an evidence, even if it's a flat earther, and, you know, let them try to defend it, or we defend ours, or whatever. I like the discussion. It's more about the topic rather than just about each other. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we have Left Bro Lane. Final thoughts.
Hey, thank you, Jose. I've been in and out, but it's a good show. And yeah, talking to Gary is a challenge. And like you was saying, it's tough not to get like drugged down to that level of conversation where nothing gets accomplished. And, you know, I try to exercise restraint in those situations and try to be kind irregardless. And I said the word irregardless. I'm trying not to say that word because it's not a word. But yeah, the sun rise, its path across the sky, and sunset, it disproves flat Earth every day. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you very much, Left Lane. Male, final thoughts.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that I brought up the straight path of the sun, and Gary said that it's not straight, and he said that it's 1 degree off. And if that kind of works with the half an arc that the sun should take over the flat Earth, then I think it's just pure dishonesty, and the Earth isn't flat. Hi home.
Hi home. Triple Croquet say Gary is either lying or is the stupidest fuck that's ever lived. Thank you for the feedback. Who is in here that didn't give final thoughts or want to give a last quick PS? Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been a fun show. Remember to check on the links on the description box. Support. This has been Jose JG Gonzaboom out. Ciao to the